And welcome to the Champ is Here podcast. I am, of course, Kevin Cartier alongside my compatriots
Arthur Sinclair,
Corian Patchett,
Stevie Boy Smith, a.k.a. the face that makes mistakes.
That's very apt. And we're here to talk about all the happenings and going-ons in the WWE Universe, Raw, Smackdown, NXT 205 Live, and everything in between. This week, I think it's 1 week left, leading up until the build-up to WWE Backlash, which is the Smackdown exclusive event. But before we get to that...
Yeah, I gotta mention one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have a birthday today. The guys in here.
Oh, yeah.
McGee,
happy
birthday, man.
Birthday,
See you next week.
See you next week, sitting right in that spot, dude.
Right.
Held down.
Yeah, so happy birthday. Okay, so speaking of birthdays and stuff, we recently had a pair of births in the WWE Universe. First of all, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella had their baby, and from what I saw, they had a girl, and her name is Birdie Jo Danielson. So, congrats to the Danielsons. I know the happy parents.
Yeah, I'm excited for Daniel and Brie to have a kid. I mean, it's good to see, man. A little, new wrestling family.
I mean, and if anyone's seen Total Divas, then Brie really wanted to be a mom.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's been a long time coming.
I know it wasn't Bertha like he wanted it.
wait, did he really say Bertha?
Oh yeah, man. He wanted man, it was a hilarious video, but Bertha's still out there. As you know, for anybody that wants to.
Anybody wants to use that name?
Congratulations.
I did not know about that. Yeah, but
poor DB.
Congrats to the new parents.
DB.
So yeah, and then also Sarah Lee of Tough Enough fame and Wesley Blake, former NXT Tag Team Champion, also had a baby girl. Her name is Piper.
Congrats to them.
So congrats also.
Also, yes. We forgot this twice, and I want to congratulate Roddy Strong and Marina Shafir on the birth of their baby.
3 babies.
Thank you, Roddy.
Bunch of wrestling babies we having right now, right? So
generation.
I mean, pretty much in 20 years, man, this is the next crop of superstars.
He's a new dad. Yeah, good luck to all these new parents out there.
So yeah, and so with all this going on, I mean, do you think that's a possibility? Are we going to see? Because I've even heard Triple H and Stephanie talk recently about their kids and how one of them wants to get into the business.
Oh, and the other one wants to marry John Cena.
Yeah. So
is that going to happen?
I'm not going there. I'm not touching that one.
Macho Man.
But yeah. So do you think we're going to see any of these kids potentially be a superstar? Is that possible?
I wouldn't care. I just hope they have a healthy life, man. I just, whatever they want to do, I mean, it'd be cool to see them in there, man. But if their heart's not into it, man, they're not. Some people aren't made for it. Don't force it. You know what I'm saying? If they want to be a chef, by all means, I'll eat all your delicious food. By all means, I mean,
true that. I'm not trying to force anybody to fake the funk, man. So definitely.
Yeah, especially knowing how punishing the wrestling business can be. It's kind of like. Probably as a wrestling parent, all of them are basically like, no, I don't want my kids to wrestle. Right. Because they know what it does to your body. Right. You're traveling all the time.
That is any sport, though. Let's not play it.
Well, respect to wrestling, though.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
But now it's a lot better. Now, I mean, it's a lot better than if you're talking about these particular babies. They have a lot of nice ends already in this.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, it is exciting. Always is exciting to see like a second generation wrestler pop up. You always want to see what they
exactly.
do.
Exactly.
What I mean? So they're
a lot more common now.
Exactly. Too. They do have nicer facilities and the way they can be brought up now.
Oh yes.
But
I think the best ones who have the chance to make it are obviously Levesque's children.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes.
What about Shane O'Mac's 3 sons?
Well,
if any of them want to get into it, anyone with the
I'm just kidding.
Anybody
with the McMahon gene,
behind them,
anybody within that circle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Well, congrats to all the new parents.
I thought you were just hinting at talent.
Okay, so so moving on, WWE's in the middle of their European tour. It's a pretty crazy one right now. They're going to be there for roughly 2 or 3 weeks, and I heard that they already have done a set of the UK tapings that they've been talking about doing, and from what I've read, it looks like it's not going to be. They weren't doing weekly event tapings. It was more like a special event kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't really read spoilers, so I didn't want to spoil myself. But from what it seems like, it's going to make another special event, kind of like the tournament was, maybe like a 1 or 2 night thing.
Cool.
And also from what I read, Jim Ross and Nigel McGuinness are going to be the ones on the call doing commentary. So any thoughts on that? Excited?
That's interesting.
I'm excited to hear them.
It'll bring Nigel's
call a match.
Nigel's insight from his side to the wrestling, and then JR's experience with that Hoss strong style, you know what I mean, that country boy style, but it's over in Britain. It'll give him a good little commentator voice too, you know. Oh, that was a real slobber knocker from Pete Dunne, you know what I mean? That was a terrible impression, but you know, you get what I'm saying, right? I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited myself about it. I can't.
What about you, K-Pad?
I always enjoy a different flavor, so yeah, I'm excited.
Okay.
Good old Jay.
And we do know that they've already announced it, that it's going to be Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate at the next NXT.
Oh yeah, Chicago, baby.
Yes.
So I don't know how that plays into what happened on the UK event, but we'll see though. So I'm guessing that's what that's going to build towards, right?
Let's go Bruiserweight.
Pete Dunne. There you go, baby. Pete Dunne. Next champ.
Okay, and we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of tournaments and whatnot, the WWE has already had, I think, 2 successful tournaments in the last year with the Cruiserweight Classic and then the UK tournament. So this is building anticipation towards a third one. And from what I've read, the WWE Women's Tournament is going to be taping on July 13th and 14th with 32 women from around the world. But unlike the previous tournaments they've done, they're going to do it, I read, video on demand style, which basically means they're going to put all the episodes out at once. So I guess
so you can binge watch, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. So they're going to film it all, but they're having a live final August 29th. So if that is true, and you do binge watch it all in 2 days, you're going to have to wait like 2 months, a month or whatever, a month and a half to see the payoff. So any thoughts on the women's tournament and on this?
Knowing that, I can't lie. I probably will watch it the first couple nights. Just due to the fact that, again, getting, you know,
reviews have been really well done. They've done this very well.
And I don't want to go out on something and I just happen upon seeing something.
I hate spoilers.
That's what I'm saying. So I
probably will. The Classic was done like episodic, right? Weekly.
Yeah,
and that's what threw me off, because it's hard for me to sit down.
And I think they were taping it in advance, but not super far.
I don't think it was super far.
But even though it's still available on the network as soon as
it was actually
all at once.
Yeah, not all of it was all at once, but
within
like chunks or something.
They probably did rounds, I would think.
Yeah, I got spoiled on.
But what women are going to be in this tournament? Have they talked about it?
I haven't heard anyone official.
Was it going to be NXT ladies, NXT mixed with WWE?
If I'm guessing, if they're going to follow the model based off Cruiserweight Classic, it'll be all brand new women if I had to guess.
I'm not mad about that.
We just see some NXT women in there.
We just kind of saw the experiment, right?
Well, yeah, with because a lot of those ladies from the NXT Battle Royal.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of just saw it, and that went over pretty well.
So we can see. I mean, I haven't really heard any official names. There's rumors, but pretty sure there'll be a mixture of maybe new faces and maybe some NXT faces. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So next thing is we got to see a glimpse into the WWE financial side. They put out their first quarter review, profits and whatnot. So I'm not a financial expert, so that's not my field of study. Did you want to talk about this, Steve?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
I know you found it interesting.
Well, I was just actually curious about. We talked about.
Well, apparently network subscribers are
exactly.
Up. This was the most successful WrestleMania digitally ever.
And we actually had a question from a couple of episodes ago from Mavs fan Aaron. You know, he specifically asked about, do you guys think WWE is going to get into the Indian market and the Asian market, or is this their attempt with Jinder and the Bollywood boys? And it states specifically here, George. Let's see. Do we continue?
George Barros, I believe his name is.
George Barrios, yeah.
Yeah.
And 10%. It says, as we leverage. I apologize for my phone. As we leverage continuing innovation to extend our reach in India, China, and around the world, specifically those two, right? Those two very large economies. That the enduring, increasing global power of our brands will provide a solid foundation for long-term growth. So yeah, they're planting the seeds, right?
Well, in this case, they've been planting the seeds because they did sign that first
China specifically,
of course, exactly.
John Cena learning Mandarin.
So, did Shane McMahon not work in China, or was
he did? He did in a media company.
So exactly. So he has inroads. I really think.
But China is also, it's a unique case though, because it's communist still, so there's certain like government restrictions they have on who they allow to do certain things.
Correct.
So
true.
I mean, does
globalization, man, globalization of the brand.
Well, that's true, but with Jinder Mahal, is it safer to say that they're closer to successfully infiltrating India than they are China?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
I think so.
Because, I mean, we've even had Great Khali as a world champion.
Yeah, exactly. They've had experience
maybe.
In that market, and even though Great Khali wasn't an amazing wrestler, but he was still a spectacle. You saw what he sold.
He was an
out.
attraction.
You saw what he sold out in India. So just imagine, not that Great Khali wasn't talented, but more talent coming from India.
And a guy that
just
speaks
more
English.
eyes, exactly.
More importantly,
exactly.
a guy that speaks English.
And
So he looks like
exactly.
he looks similar to how they would look over there, but he speaks English though. So
I think that's really important.
It's familiar, but it also gives WWE a comfort level that they can put him on like the Today Show and stuff like that,
Right.
for their champions. So so do you think that this gives Jinder a better chance?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the plan all along, was to do that for Jinder. You know, Jinder.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
So you don't think they ever saw the potential in him?
Knowing that, I almost want to say yes because of the stereotypical ways WWE has
with him and Drew
branded people before.
Was he McIntyre? No.
Yeah,
McIntyre. Oh, I'm sorry.
McIntyre. Yeah.
Where when they cut their ties, you know, he told both of them, like specifically both of them, to go pretty much in a nutshell,
refine themselves.
Well,
right?
yeah, mature. Just come into your own. And
have not both men done that?
I think Jinder more or less has than Drew.
And that's why he's in the World Championship picture.
But on the flip side, though, I think that this was opportunity that he just they come together. I don't think this was we're gonna bring in the Bollywood boys, turn them to the Singh brothers, have them with Jinder. Like, no, this is a fate thing that they're just capitalizing on, which is a very smart thing to do, very smart thing to do personally.
So you think it just happened? The cards aligned like
I
this.
think a lot of
now that they see that, they're going to roll with
possibly,
this.
Yes.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, but why not?
It's a beautiful thing about the business.
Ding, like you've always said,
roll the
you
punches.
can rewrite on the fly. So
and they do.
They do.
And wrestling's never been hotter in India, in my opinion, than it is right now in all over the world. Instagram, social media brings everybody together.
That's true.
They can see.
That is true.
They can see all of this, right? They have a WWE
at Champions Here
exactly.
show in India.
Champions Here show, baby. It said so. Total, a 10% growth in revenue in WWE Network subscribers, event attendance, and
that makes me
key
happy.
Operating metrics, which
just
is
the network by itself.
So we're getting people,
hopefully they're staying,
and that's
global.
I love it.
That's global consumption.
More content for us too.
I love content.
So maybe 5% of that came from overseas from this, from the reach that they're starting to
whatever it takes to keep it up and running. I'm fine because we're getting it for still anyway, $9.99. So
$9.99. Keep it at $9.99, please.
I mean, I don't mind paying that at all. So please, I enjoy it. Please keep it up and going. It keeps me sane.
You can even go get a $30 card at Walmart and get 3 months. You don't even have to pay.
There you go, right? You cancel it when you don't want it. You pick it up back when you do.
Yeah.
So, moving on. WWE seems to be doing well enough financially. We touched on this last week, but Stevie Boy here wasn't with us, so we're going to revisit it. The word was out last week that a script or the rights to Vince McMahon's story was going around and had been bought to create a movie, a biopic. That's how I say it.
Biopic.
I'll go ahead, tweet us which one you prefer. But the word was it was going to be called Pandemonium, right?
Correct.
So, two things. Well, before we get to that, because I heard something about it, but who do you think would play a good Vince McMahon?
Oh, well, my first choice was Michael Keaton because I felt like he could portray.
So he could be Roy Kroc and he could be Vince McMahon.
Of course, Ray Kroc,
whatever.
Roy,
tomato.
Is probably the reason I chose him for this role because it's hard to picture Michael Keaton being a tough guy because he's more of a funnier actor, comedic actor in my opinion.
I mean, he did play Batman.
He did, but
what about George Clooney?
And a great Batman.
And so did a lot of other people play Batman.
We'll save that debate for another time because he was not. I don't know.
He was my first choice because I think he has the acting chops and the ability to carry the dialogue that Vince McMahon is so well known for. Talking wise.
Yep.
But
he is notorious.
But I have been swayed by Adam Dunnels and his pick of Al Pacino. Al Pacino's a little short.
Old Al Pacino?
Wow.
Al Pacino's like 75 years old. You current Vince.
But
how's he going to play like classic Vince?
Are we getting 3 different Vince McMahons? Because I can
go ahead and do that then real quick. We have time. Or do you want to do that next show? Did I put you on spot?
Yeah, you
did. I think Christopher Walken.
He's too old, man. Like, if this was 20 years ago, I'd agree with both of those guys.
Al Pacino can do it because he's the only one capable of providing the dialogue that Vince McMahon has. He has the gravitas, pal.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn, I can't even do it. Give Get too excited over here.
Yeah, get a little frisky over here.
I want to speak on that. I was listening to the Jim Cornette show, and Brian Last and Jim Cornette were talking about this screenplay that they have gotten leaked, that has been leaked online. Of Pandemonium. They said it was.
What about Liam Neeson?
They said it was terrible.
Liam Neeson?
He does mid-young.
And
Dunno's going to hate me right now because I'm chopping his name
They
up.
said, Brian Last, specifically per Cornette show, said that Vince McMahon bought this movie just specifically so it would never get made because it's pretty bad.
And I was going to say that's... Watch this happen, pal. But that's what I was going to say is I actually saw an interview Linda McMahon did where she said the movie will probably not be made. And I think it's for the exact same reasons that you just brought up. Lots of dark stuff that they could refer to if they wanted to.
I mean, are we Beyond the Mat? We saw what they tried to do to Beyond the Mat.
So, in summation, if you were able to see the Vince McMahon movie, I mean, would you go see it? Is this something that interests you?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, give me a 2.5 hour nice Hollywood production. And I'm going to see.
Now, do you think this is something that can win over the casual fan to get them interested, maybe see what wrestling's all about, or is there nothing good to come of this?
If it's done in a way, yes. But if you want to do like the real story of WrestleMania, the real story of Vince McMahon,
that might
if it's the real story,
that might win an Oscar.
But also but it's not gonna be. If you know, but every good there's bad again.
Right.
So again, but I would be
shout out Michael Keaton. I think maybe hopefully he gets the part.
Let's see what happens.
Out of everyone that I've heard, I think he's the one that's best equipped right now. But okay, so Pandemonium possibly coming to a theater near you next year, 2 years. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. So last but not least, before we jet out for this segment. Are going for the gold segment. I don't usually want to get too political or anything in here, but I did want to bring something up that's been a real hot topic recently. And The Rock. The rumor has been heating up that The Rock is going to run for president in 2020.
I would not be surprised, man. We're in that era now in American politics where we have rock star politicians.
It's like Monday Night Raw. Anything can happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember walking around with some coworkers last semester. And we were talking about, well, who do you think is going to run for president for the Democrat side? And, somebody mentioned Michelle Obama and this and that. I was like, well, it popped in my head, what about The Rock? And I would not be surprised about The Rock.
That would be his logical next big step if you kind of think about it. But in my opinion, well, I'm just scared. I would probably vote for The Rock if he ran. Depending on his platforms, but my real concern is is he worried about the nation and its issues, or is he more worried about this accolade in his career? Right?
Sounds like you're talking about someone else almost.
But well, of course we can. Yeah,
I think we're like K-Pad said. I think we're almost at an era now where it's almost not even about. It's not even about what your platform is. It's about your charisma and your brand and your following. And I mean, I think if The Rock chooses to run, I mean,
he's charismatic enough to where he can.
If he seriously wants to do it, I think he can make a serious run at it. Okay, well, what about wrestlers and politics in general? I mean, we've seen Kane in recently. Rhino, Booker T. I mean, Jesse Ventura is a former governor.
Of course,
so there's been some precedent in the past. I mean, do you think it's kind of like the Vince McMahon movie? Do you think it brings an interesting light to wrestling, or is it just these guys are multifaceted and this is a different? Has nothing to do with wrestling. What do you think?
Has nothing to do with wrestling. These guys are just
multifaceted.
And it's just to their credit that they're multifaceted because you don't see many other athletes going and speaking out.
I kind of want to look into the statistics.
I think that's
do wrestlers become politicians more
per capita, probably
than any other athlete.
You speak to an audience already.
Exactly.
You're in front of a camera, like you have.
And does it not go to say that you possibly wrestling fans are maybe one of the most passionate bunches on the planet?
True.
So are they not responsible for The Rock's success in Hollywood? Because he did make a couple of mediocre movies, but those fans from the WWF or WWE still supported him. I didn't.
True.
Specifically.
I mean, it definitely slingshotted his rise.
I think once they get past that, but I think wrestling and the wrestling fans are largely popular for their success in other things because the world quite doesn't take wrestlers seriously yet.
So we have about a minute left, so let's wrap up real quick. 2 quick questions real quick. I'm going to go around the room. One is, would you seriously consider voting for The Rock? And 2 is, besides The Rock, who is a pro wrestler you see now that may get into politics in the future?
Current wrestling?
Yeah.
I would vote for The Rock by any means. And a current wrestler right now that I can see going probably is somebody like a guy like Chad Gable.
Okay.
He really for some reason.
I did not expect that. What about you, Stevie Boy?
I would vote for The Rock, or I would think about voting for him.
Right?
Seriously, yes, I would put it into consideration. And I think The Big Show. Just because he's the only person that comes to mind for some reason.
I choose not to label or announce if I'll vote for The Rock or not, because that is my right to hold my,
Yeah, true.
Always the obstinate one.
Well, I'm just
No, man,
I
respect it.
But she made me forget what I was gonna say.
Okay, well,
John Cena.
Of course, he's swooping into my answer.
Nailed it.
That was what I was gonna say.
Nope, we all know John Cena's going to be the next host of the Today Show.
Yeah, and that'll probably be his qualifier to run for president after that, after a good 4 or 5 year run. But okay,
Cena
so it's been a go ahead.
Before we wrap up, one more birthday announcement: May 28th. May 12th. Jasmine Cherry, happy birthday! Love you.
Happy birthday, Jasmine.
May 28th is another one. All
right, well, join this next segment. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. So, at Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
The strongest brand in the land.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cartier.
And I'm Stevie Boy Smith.
And thanks for watching the Champ is Here podcast.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Champ is Here Show, and subscribe to our YouTube page at Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show. At Champ is Here Show. We're back to the Champ is Here Show, and we're doing our quick question segment of the day, which is, of course, it's rapid fire. We're trying to get it in 5 minutes or less. So today's quick question of the day, it kind of sparks from a conversation I was having off the show. A lot of these guys are passionate wrestling fans, of course, that's why we're doing the show. The women's wrestling has really evolved and jumped up in quality substantially the last few years. One of the people I feel like that was bridging that gap and partially responsible for this new era is a woman that's actually still relatively young in terms of age, but old in terms of experience. That would be Paige, the anti-diva, if you will. So she's been having her issues on and off with WWE in the past recent year and a half. We're not going to talk about that. That's not what the quick question of the day is. The quick question of the day is, if you were to take Paige's WWE and NXT career into consideration, if she never were to wrestle again, is she a WWE Hall of Famer? Yes or no, and why? I mean, it's pretty much your answer. You can justify however you want to, but please try to have an answer. And we'll go ahead and start with you, K-Pad. Is Paige a Hall of Famer?
Yes, she is. Reason being, I'm going to read you a couple names. Sunny,
Okay.
Coco Beware,
Okay.
Beth Phoenix,
Okay.
and The Godfather.
Okay.
Those all are Hall of Famers.
Okay.
So their accolades next to Paige's accolades, I feel hers is greater, in my opinion. I feel hers are greater. So I feel like, yes, she is a Hall of Famer just based off that.
So you don't think The Godfather had more of an impact on certain people than Paige did? Because I know as a kid, I loved The Godfather. Yes,
well, you asking me personally?
I can't say
no,
I don't demean women the way The Godfather does.
I mean, well, good.
But I'll smoke a fatty with that pimp daddy. But no, what I'm saying is, no, I would not vote for Paige if she if she were to never wrestle again. I would not consider her for.
So even though she was the only person to ever be the NXT women's champion and the Divas champion concurrently,
you're gonna have
first NXT women's champion.
Not you. Well,
youngest.
Let her
youngest of both.
Right away, no, because I want to see her keep wrestling, and if there's a reason why she can't wrestle,
let me ask you this.
If there's a reason why she can't wrestle, then she can't wrestle. But if she legitimately can wrestle, and like we see,
different circumstances, China could have probably still worked,
and it's it didn't work out. But even though Paige has done so well, her potential was way more. And I think they underutilized her.
Okay.
And so I think she needs to come back and prove herself.
But if she were to never wrestle again, though, so you're saying it's a no. For you,
I'm gonna,
it's a no.
Yeah. Well, you know that it's kind of more like this for me. But I would
put this into words. Articulate that.
It's because of the way you can't really take the Hall of Fame seriously. The WWE Hall of Fame, they kind of just pick and choose who they want to pick in, and finally, once people yell enough, that's who they put in. And so it's kind of like.
So would Charlotte get in right now for you?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
You got to earn it. And Paige's legacy is there, but it needs to age well first.
Okay. So what about my man over here?
I appreciate that.
Arthur Sinclair, what do you think?
She is not a Hall of Famer.
Really? Despite the fact that she was the youngest women's champion,
all this you take into consideration.
Double champion.
You take into consideration what is going on with her and her career.
We were there the night she debuted.
And you know how much of a fan.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm shocked at your answer.
But you want me to give you a rise up right now?
Yeah, honest answer.
Taking into consideration her whole career with WWE.
Is this shady from what happened outside the ring? Because I'm saying strictly in the ring.
But the Hall of Fame can touch more than that, though. You really realize that.
Sonny got in, bro.
So you're taking
Sonny got in.
And you're taking so.
Okay,
but who?
So are you referring to like the stuff that got leaked out?
Everything.
So that you're holding that against her.
No. Not just that. Not just that. The fact. I've read the stories behind the scenes, man, about how she was with and it's her. When she came in, she had all the potential in the world. I agree with that, and they didn't underutilize her at all. I don't think. I think that she was on a very good.
No, they shot her on the rocket.
No. She's on a very good show. She's on a very good projected. What I'm saying is taking everything into consideration that goes to the Hall of Fame, and there's some people in the Hall of Fame that should be in there right now that's not in there. So I'm not going to give. I'm not
saying first ballot.
No. I'm listening to the question.
Okay.
From start to finish, her whole career, from start to finish, from WWE, no.
So we'll wrap it up like this then. So you're saying no.
Yes.
No.
I say yes, just based on the fact, first and only NXT and Divas champion. Maybe I'm biased because I was there the night she debuted. She beat AJ Lee the night after WrestleMania. She won the title 3 times, I want to say at least twice in her first year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask this.
She's the link to the 4 Horsewomen.
Charlotte, she's Hall of Fame right now. She's Hall of Fame right now.
Yes, yes, she is. But if she's
no.
top 50 greatest,
I'm not
top 50 greatest, no.
So that's how
when she gets in the Hall of Fame, yes.
But that's how I have to wrap this up. That was our quick question segment of the day. What do you guys think?
Yes.
If Paige were to never wrestle again, is she a Hall of Famer? Please write, comment, subscribe, let us know.
The runoff vote for Paige.
Right? Yeah, we're tied right now.
At Champ is Here Show, we need your votes.
Yeah, so let us know.
Like if you want Paige to get in. Retweet if you say no.
Don't forget to smash that retweet and subscribe to YouTube.
So I guess we're gonna have to send a tweet out now.
Now we're social media guy.
But yeah, so shout out, and if you have an idea for a question, please let us know. So yeah, we'll join us next time. We're gonna dive into the Red Brand Monday Night Raw at Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
Strongest brand in the land.
The Champ is here.
And we're back to the Champ is Here Show. And we're going to talk about the Red Brand Monday Night Raw. Just for a little context, they are in the midst of their European tour. So they're at the O2 Arena, London, England, 2 nights in a row. Back to back, as Drake would say. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not quite as live as it normally would be. It's my terrible British accent. It was either on tape delay or they pre-taped it.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's a tape delay or either one.
It's like a 6-7 hour difference.
Right. It's 1 o'clock
across
here.
the pond.
It's 1 o'clock here, and they're
Stones delay across the pond. So the show begins. I was more Australian. The show begins with Dean Ambrose walking backstage in Lunatic Fringe, and apparently, what shocked me more than anything is he has a cell phone. So he gets a cell phone call, and it's Shane McMahon.
Was it a smartphone or a flip phone? I can't remember.
No, it was an iPhone. It had the do do do.
He needs that Nokia phone.
See, or like an old brick phone that's all like beat up and like Anyway,
Ambrose doesn't use.
But yeah, so apparently it was General Manager Angle decreeing him, deputizing, if you will, him as temporary general manager for the night, GM of the night. So Ambrose goes out to the ring, and the Miz interrupts and says, as per Stephanie, he is co-GM of the night. And it looks like they're about to broker some kind of peace of sorts. And right when they go to shake hands, Braun Strowman, the monster among us, shows up with a sling. It's the first time we've seen him sell any kind of pain or distress for a long-term period of time. Yeah. So it's an interesting sight. First of all, you guys think that's a shoot? Is that like a legit, or is that for story?
Well, per like those reports offline that surfaced after the show, before that, yeah, he's having an elbow issue, so he will be out. And his Instagram post kind of was about that too. It was.
So do you think that's legit?
So I think
or do you think that's window dressing to make it look better?
I think it's a shoot and a work. It works into a shoot. It shoots into a work.
Because I could see him being hurt for real, but then they put this on to kind of sell it.
Yeah, didn't last week they say he had torn to the cuff?
See, yeah, I thought that's what it was too.
Yeah, see, no, I feel like this is karma, man. I don't believe in them. Like, you shouldn't name. I don't like them
specific
naming
body parts.
Naming fake injuries.
Yeah, you don't name. I don't think you
just say they're hurt.
Say they're hurt, man. It's already that's enough, man.
Yeah.
Don't
you
be
just
like,
that
hey,
bad juju, right?
He sprained his MCL, and then
right.
I believe in karma, so that's it's a little bit weird. It's a little weird to me. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. So he must be, because that leads to Kalisto coming out interrupting, because Braun was really getting into it, saying he wants Brock next, and that leads to Kalisto coming out and saying
that's more like what I got out of this whole thing was him demanding. He demanded.
He wants Brock,
but this is. Why is not Brock?
Why is not what?
Man, I just really
over
wish,
here, Yoda. What's up?
I wish Brock would have came out and destroyed him.
Why is not Brock destroyed?
Well, let's be real.
Brock didn't take the trip. He was on his farm.
As much as I like the Raw brand right now, the belt is kind of a joke right now, because it remains to be seen.
Where were you last week when I was saying the same?
Wow, the belt is a joke right now?
It was not a joke.
Not really a joke, but it's more of to poke fun at.
The Universal belt has not caught on, man, due to injuries and other things.
I've
man,
never agreed with
other
Brock
things
being
being
champion,
Brock
to be
Lesnar.
honest.
Well,
Part-time
now,
champion.
So I'm
not with it.
I guess we'll.
So is Kevin Owens not a credible champion?
No. He earned my respect. Being
I think
champion.
Chris Jericho was more of a focal point than Kevin Owens was during his championship.
Yeah, to me, Jericho made that more.
He did,
watchable.
but
and then them
it
saying
was up
that
to Kevin Owens to hold the belt. Jericho generated the heat and made it real,
okay,
made us want to see Owens lose.
So hopefully we'll see Brock Lesnar soon. We'll be able to discuss this in further depth. But we got to move on, gentlemen. Kalisto comes out and says pretty much, Braun,
I'm a man.
You forget about me? Yeah, I'm a man. What you did to me is unacceptable. And Braun even makes the joke, I could beat him with one arm, but I'm hurt right now. But Dean goes ahead and makes the match. So later on we're going to have one-arm Braun Strowman versus Kalisto. So after this leads to Finn Balor showing up, and it's Finn Balor versus The Miz in our first in-ring match of the night. Kind of a long match, but it surprised me more than anything. Not Finn winning, because Finn Balor did get the win, but he didn't quite get the pop I expected he would get from the London crowd.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Do you think? Well, I mean, you predicted a big monster pop for him. So, do you think that this is a symptom of him not necessarily reestablishing himself yet? Like, the storyline wise, he's kind of been spinning his wheels since his return a few weeks ago, or is it the fact that it's Finn Balor fatigue? Is it the opposite? Is it like they've been trying to force him so much that the fans really aren't connecting? Because you would think this would be the crowd. They did the arm thing, but they weren't really there wasn't really noise for him like other guys.
Maybe he's just not that charismatic, and
he's still getting there, right? The big stage might not be for him.
But you would think this would be the audience for him.
This would be,
like
Roman gets more boos than he gets cheers.
But he gets a reaction.
Yes.
Finn didn't get anything.
That's what I'm saying.
I think with all the talent floating around Raw right now, everybody has somebody to latch onto, and Finn is kind of sitting there.
Well, they've kind of flip-flopped him a little bit.
And we're not sure. A lot of people, screaming for Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor. So, that remains to be seen. That's the big money match.
It's like they tease it, but they haven't committed to it. Even this week, I don't think they did anything with that.
They didn't, but I mean, they're keep that in your back pocket.
I mean, what is it going to do?
That's money.
Finn?
That's money.
I don't know. Well, there's a rumor going around. I don't usually want to engage in this, but there's a rumor going around since Braun's hurt. Finn might be the one to slide into that spot against Brock Lesnar. Great Balls of Fire, Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar for the belt.
Really?
For what?
That's been a rumor going around. I don't usually engage in that talk.
Let me talk about the Universal title.
Okay.
I'm sorry to get off the subject, but
don't worry. We're gonna start knocking segments off. Don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. Finn Balor lost last week, and so did who was the other guy in the match? Finn Balor, Miz, and
Dean Ambrose.
Are you talking about the triple threat? Seth
Rollins.
Which was an entertaining match.
Yes, very entertaining match. Wish they had a better finish, but let's say that for later. Those two guys lost, Seth and Finn. Miz gets the title shot.
Correct. Which is next week.
But in all actuality, it's almost like, hey, Finn, Seth, y'all really win because you get to move up in the card. You get the Universal title shot. And it's like,
that's to be said. We don't know who's going to slide into that spot yet. It's just a rumor that Finn.
If they slide Finn in that, Bray just beat the champion on the other show. So why not slide him into that spot and have
that very well may be.
So we'll see. We'll see. I didn't know about. I didn't know.
We won't know. We won't know their decision until they introduce it. But go ahead, Stevie.
Nothing. I was just thinking, like, how do you guys feel about Miz and Bray Wyatt being featured pretty prominently on Smackdown? Now they're just basically on the Raw brand, and they're doing the exact same thing.
Honestly, I
liked it.
I was going to say, honestly,
I think it's more of a refresher because certain people, like me or my parents, they kind of stick to Monday Night Raw. Sometimes by the end of the week, Tuesday, they don't watch it as much, or they watch it later in the week, so it's not less of a show, but they don't pay attention to it as much. So I think it's now, like, I really like The Miz. He was one of the main reasons I was watching I watched SmackDown when I got the chance. And Bray Wyatt, too. So
I actually think it's good for both of them.
What do you think?
Because it's giving them that main... I actually thought about
just
this
like
in a
Charlotte
way.
and Alexa Bliss.
It's giving them that mainstream, the look. Look at me. Like, it's giving them that audience, that kind of viewership. Like you said, Raw is the show that's more mainstream and more associated with WWE than SmackDown is. So if you're going to make a top guy like The Miz, who is like the A-lister, or like if you're going to put the spooky Bray Wyatt guy over, I mean, that's the show to do it on, right? That's the flagship show. That's always been the big... Exactly. That's been the stereotype.
Yeah.
That's
wrestling,
been the story going.
SmackDown's the more wrestling-oriented show, right? With the 2-hour format and all of that.
And Raw with the more entertainment-oriented viewpoint, I think that gives those guys a bigger advantage because you can embrace their storytelling ability. Like Bray Wyatt, the supernatural factor is kind of what's been, the hook to his character.
It's more of a spectacle,
and just like Miz talking is more of what makes him, entertaining. So you can embrace that more so on Raw. You have more time, more resources, and so so I definitely think it's a good look for both of those guys. And really, man, I mean, those are both solid heels to me. So I mean, you can polish either of them up, and to me, they're legit main eventers. No matter what you guys say about Bray Wyatt, I think he's a legit main eventer. No matter what you guys
say about the Miz.
So now that even after Miz loses to Finn Balor, you don't think that damages the Miz? I don't think so. I think the Miz is one of those kind of guys. He's one of those like those. You
don't care if Miz loses.
Yeah, you want to see him lose almost, right?
He's just as entertaining. I'm not gonna say that's why he's so good at his job.
I would say that he's had enough W's on his career to where a loss to me when the Miz does not look as dramatic as it would against somebody.
It doesn't discredit him.
Do you think Miz has been any better in his career than now? I don't think so.
I agree. He won me over last year. Exactly. He actually won me over last year. So I mean, I can't say. And I used to not like him at all.
I've been on the Miz.
You have that you have.
But, I mean, again, I didn't.
You secretly like him, but you
I used to not like him at all.
You want to tell people you hate him, or that's what me.
But you know, got me last year. I was watching him on SmackDown, and I remember laughing to myself, and then I was like, oh my goodness, like I actually I like the guy now. Like when did this happen? Like it snuck up on me. And it disturbed me at first. I threw up in my mouth.
I don't want to like that guy.
Right, yeah. I don't want to like him. But, hey, kudos to The Miz and Maurice. You guys are one of the hottest acts in WWE right now. So, we got to move on, guys. We've ate up almost 10 minutes on this. So, moving on, the Raw Women's Division. It is Alexa Bliss backstage, and she's confronted by Nia Jax. Nia Jax says, did you mean what you said last week about me? And, Bliss was like, of course. So Nia pretty much was like, well, look, I'll look out for you as long as you can guarantee me the next title shot. And Alexa said, I'll do what I can next time I see Kurt Angle. And Nia pretty much says, you have a new best friend now, which leads to Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. Alexa Bliss had Nia Jax, of course, and Mickie James brought Bayley. And it was an alright match. Both women were out there really working, doing their thing. Alexa Bliss wins because of a distraction kind of thing. But what really stood out to me more than anything was how hot the crowd was for Bayley. Bayley got one of the bigger reactions.
I was like, wow.
I mean, the English crowd is always hot for Bayley, but I mean, she probably got one of the louder reactions of the whole night. And I mean, that's despite everyone else they saw, and even the whole Alexa Bliss gets ran off and Nia beats up Mickie James. I mean, really, no reaction from the crowd for that. It was all mostly for Bayley. So. Do you think that's more of just this crowd, or is it
no?
I think it's just this crowd.
Okay.
No, I feel like the casual fan is easily swayed by Alexa Bliss and how good she is now, or how it's fun to watch her and her mic work, her ring work, all of that. Mm-hmm. But we all know Bayley is the big star on Raw. Mm-hmm. She's going to be the big face of the company for the next I don't know how many years when it comes to the women's division. So you're going Bayley? Yes, she deserves it.
So Bayley or Alexa going forward, who's going to be the champion? Because I think they're gonna have their clash again for the belt.
Oh, it's gonna be Bayley. Bayley's gonna end up winning.
Bayley's gonna win it back.
Yeah, but I think her crowd pops back home have been a lot
dwindling.
They've been dwindling more and more. And it's not due to the fact that she's just a bad. It's just again the character gets stale for doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I feel like Bayley's character works better under. She's better chasing. I feel like Bayley's better chasing the title. She's a better underdog. What do you think, K-Pat? Alexa Bliss or Bayley?
Like you said, she's better chasing. Bayley is. I think Bayley will win the title later on this year, but from here on out, man, there's only one woman that's held both belts.
Okay, so we'll see what happens moving on. So unfortunately, we have to move on. Miz and Dean Ambrose were backstage after this, and essentially Dean Ambrose cancels Miz TV on the evening. Miz claims he had a big superstar guest, and as retaliation, the Miz puts Dean Ambrose in a match with Bray Wyatt, the main event for the night. And considering the fact that they have their IC title match next week, you could say that he's softening Dean up, right, if you will. Next, we see Samoa Joe backstage cutting a promo about Seth Rollins, and this time Seth Rollins attacks, and they have a pull apart little brawl, and that kind of supposed to build the anticipation for their match later that night. But now this is what I was waiting to get to. Braun Strowman versus Kalisto, and I thought it was pretty interesting that they do the entrances and everything. And again, I think McGee said it a few months back, where Strowman is like the thinking man, or the thinking big man. Like he's not just a regular monster that just smashes. So he gets on the mic and he basically says, "I'm not going to have this match. I'm hurt." And he drops the mic to go away, and the ref rings the bell, and Kalisto rushes him and gets kicked in the face, if I'm not mistaken. And right when Braun was about to really start putting that work on him, Roman Reigns shows up. So I thought it was kind of weird. There was really no winner or loser. The match just kind of ended, and then they end up having this big brawl where actually Roman ends up getting the better of Braun Strowman, and Strowman flees.
Yeah, right.
Didn't see it coming. I mean, to be honest with you, the way they booked it recently.
Who does Braun Strowman run away from?
So does this renew your interest in the Braun Strowman Roman Reigns feud? Because this is obviously leading to another chapter.
It never left.
So you've been interested.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say the way that it ended at Payback, I kind of left me a little iffy on it. But seeing how they're, I'm back. I mean, I think it's the best thing going on right now
because it's almost the inverse of the last.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the.
I think they made. I don't know. I kind of feel like they should have made Reigns wait longer and then beat Strowman and then let them have this instead of Strowman continually beat Braun. So I'm like.
Say it again, sir, because you just said
you said a word salad.
I'm lukewarm on it. What I'm saying is, I would rather when Braun flipped the ambulance, I would rather Roman took more time off and came back and beat Braun instead of Braun continually these beatdowns. Yeah, okay. And Roman coming back and I'm ready for more, bro.
This is his yard versus his yard.
You gotta make Roman look strong.
It is, but it's on
the way out.
But it's kind of he could have.
Roman did be taken, bro. He did be taken, bro.
I mean,
how strong can you look?
How much stronger can you look?
How much can you look,
bro? Destroyed also.
That's working with.
I'm just saying,
but if we don't know that news that Strowman is hurt, I would rather just flip flop and make it more of an even contest. Kind of like that the Goldberg Brock Lesnar thing. That was so disappointing, right?
It was, but okay. So moving on before we get off topic.
But hold on 1 second. I just want to say that he only
put that back. Yeah,
he also has not only has brains, but he has brawn.
You stopped me for that. So after that, we see a promo with the Golden Truth. Goldust emotional appeal to R-Truth, saying that the R-Truth, right? Saying that basically we're good enough, man. We can have one more run. We just got to be about it. And R-Truth says he's down. And honestly, for a minute, I was kind of on board. I thought that we were going to see the Golden Truth pull it out. And that leads to a tag team turmoil. I hope I didn't spoil the match for anybody. That leads to tag team turmoil. Enzo and Cass are out first. They do their usual shtick. The crowd is kind of hot for them. To me, they're getting kind of long in the tooth. I know we got a couple Enzo Cass fans in here.
I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I can't let y'all say it's long in the tooth. And I had to witness Bayley and Sasha for about a year and a half.
Okay.
It's not long in the tooth.
Bada boom.
But you've been witnessing the realest guys in the room for like 3 years now.
Okay, so anyway, Cesaro comes out next, and pretty much, I mean, to save time, we're kind of starting to run low. Cesaro basically runs the table. They beat Enzo and Cass. They beat Slater and Rhino next. They beat the Club after that. And then the Golden Truth comes out, the last team. And at this point, Cesaro has done everything they can. They've pulled out all the stops, all the tricks of the trade, and they're barely holding on at this point. And in my head, at least, I'm thinking, man, Golden Truth, this is how they're going to do it. It's realistic. It makes sense.
But outlast them.
Right? You're going to outlast me. You're the luck of the draw, man, and a little of that old man savvy. And, of course, Cesaro pulls it out in the end.
Yeah.
So, right when it looks like Cesaro might pull something shady, the Hardys show up. They get a decent pop. And what I find interesting is not only do they go to rush the ring, right? Not only has Matt Hardy been throwing up the deletes a lot more, getting real frequent with them, Jeff Hardy had a new tooth. So, you know, I think that's a win. It's a win-win for everybody, right? So, all right, what are you guys more excited about? The possible broken Matt Hardy in deletes or Jeff Hardy's new tooth?
Oh,
Jeff Hardy's new tooth.
I'm happy to see my man with a new tooth, man.
Oh, Matt Hardy in the broken gimmick, hopefully. Because, I mean, we all know...
I'm pro Jeff tooth.
You put that tooth in milk, you know, you get that tooth in milk for 12 hours at least, before 12 hours.
So after this, Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe continued their I guess would this be like a trilogy now at this point? Their series of matches. And it really doesn't get very far because Joe ends up winning by DQ because of an exposed turnbuckle that Seth Rollins ripped off accidentally earlier in the match. The ref tells Samoa Joe not to use it. He does anyway, gets the disqualification, but he chokes out Seth Rollins. So Joe ends up standing tall at the end of this segment. And this has to be leading to another match of Great Balls of Fire, right? Possibly a gimmick match. Mm-hmm. Maybe a submission match, perhaps, something like that. I could see that.
I don't know. What does Seth Rollins have in his submission?
I don't think he might start busting something out in next
cool.
week. If he starts doing a submission, it's a submission match. I'm calling it. So after that, we see Neville backstage from earlier in the day telling TJP if he can handle Jack Gallagher, he will get the next title shot at his Cruiserweight Championship. Pronouns, pal, right? Pronouns. So that leads to TJP versus Jack Gallagher with Neville on commentary. They even did a quick little vignette recap of TJP attacking Austin Aries after their match last week where Austin Aries won. TJP, again, just like the segment we saw before, ends up standing tall because he beats up Austin Aries after the match, puts him in a knee bar. So Austin Aries kind of looks like he's going to be injured for the next foreseeable future. So anyway, back to the match. It starts with a really vicious headbutt. I don't know how Jack Gallagher can keep doing these.
Oh my god, right?
I mean, me and K-Pad talked about it off the show. Like, there has to be a trick to it, but there's no way that there's a trick to it, right?
Dude. It's magic.
Yeah, he magically smashes his head into someone else's. But, so TJP wins with a quick roll-up and attacks Gallagher after the match. Austin Aries makes the save, which is going to lead us to the next night on 205 Live. We'll get to that. So, you guys interested in seeing where this Austin Aries Neville thing is going?
Yes, I am. Shout out to WWE Rome for the best Austin Aries sign I've ever seen. The AA with bananas.
Yeah. So
great.
So
he retweeted that. So thanks for that, Austin.
Okay, so and we'll go ahead. We're going to jump to the main event, and then we'll cover what we missed on the later in the show. The main event was Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose with The Miz on commentary. The Miz ends up leaving commentary ringside, tries to grab the IC belt. Dean notices, jumps on him. Bray tries to take advantage. The Miz hits Dean Ambrose with the IC title. Bray is finally able to hit Sister Abigail and take advantage for the win. And then Miz pretty much attacks Dean after the match and proclaims himself the next champion next week. So, real quick, 2 questions. Who's winning the IC title match next week? Miz or Dean Ambrose?
Miz.
Miz gets it, and then Roman takes it from him.
Miz.
Second question, who is your Monday Night Raw champ of the night? I'll start with you, author.
It has to be Bray Wyatt.
Why?
He ended Monday Night Raw to win.
Right, that's a big for you, right? It's big. Bray Wyatt with the W. What about you, Stevie boy?
Ooh, good question. I'm gonna have to go with. This is a tough one. I'm gonna stick with The Miz, even though he lost, because he did what he had to do.
Dean Ambrose and The Miz, co-champions.
Okay. I am also going with The Miz for champ of the night just because he was able to further his agenda, and it's looking like even if he doesn't win next week, he's a credible threat to win next week. And in pro wrestling, as a bad guy, that's really all you need to be, is a credible threat. So, join us next segment. We're going to get into the Blue Brand Smackdown Live in Shinsuke Nakamura, edging ever closer to debut. So we'll see you next segment at Champ Is Here Show.
At Champ Is Here Show.
At Champ Is Here Show.
The strongest brand in the land.
Well, actually, we're going to talk about NXT and 205 Live.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Kev, but I've got a great new idea. So just hear me out, okay? It's called At Champions Here Show Podcast, the strongest brand in the land. What do you think about it? I mean, is it over? Do you like it? I think it's a great idea.
So please subscribe on YouTube at Champions Here Show. Like and follow on Twitter and Instagram at Champions Here Show.
The strongest brand in the land. At Champions Here Show.
And we're back to the Champions Here Show there, brothers. But before we get to the Blue Brand and Smackdown Live, we're going to talk about 205 Live and NXT.
What about it?
You just gonna leave that there?
Cup of Joe, man. Morning Joe.
So anyway,
now they know where I put it, man. So you ruined the magic.
So we're gonna start with 205 Live. Oh, my bad, man. We're gonna start with 205 Live, and the show starts with Jack Gallagher coming to the ring, starting to cut a promo, and he gets a pretty decent reaction from the London, England O2 Arena crowd.
Yeah.
And
for a Manchester boy.
I mean, especially considering the fact that Finn Balor got like nothing comparatively speaking. I
well,
mean,
he's not. He's
off.
also Irish. We're not going to get into that, but you know. No, I'm kidding. I
guess that counts, right? Doesn't that matter some? Or no?
I don't know. Gallagher's almost got as much steam. Gallagher's got almost as much steam as Finn Balor does.
Gallagher's never won the Universal title either, so he comes out to a reaction the way he did it. Yeah, it says something, right? Well, anyway.
He's so young too.
Austin Aries ends up showing up and thanks him for the help. And they kind of thank each other, saying, okay, we're going to have each other's back. And Gallagher goes to get 2 pints of Guinness or whatnot to drink. And the crowd starts chanting, they got all those drinking songs and
room temperature, mate. Yeah.
Is that what they're chanting?
No, that's how they drink Guinness over there. Room temperature.
Why?
Why? That's how they drink it.
Oh, I don't even like cold beer. I can't imagine room temperature beer. But okay. Well, thank you for that little.
At least what I've been told. Yeah, room temperature Guinness.
Give me a pint of that. So anyway, Neville ends up interrupting, coming out, which of course leads to TJP coming out and attacking Austin Aries and get Jack Gallagher. There's a little brawl that takes place, but eventually the good guys overtake the bad guys, and the heels, being TJP and Neville, flee the ring. So how do you feel about them merging the Austin Aries Neville storyline with this TJP Jack Gallagher influence now? I mean, is it something that you think prolongs the feud? Does it make it more interesting to you? What do you think, author?
I'm not a very big. I'm not in the crossover storylines to me. Just a little too much for me right now.
Really,
I'd much rather see a.
What do you think, Stevie boy?
End result.
I think it gives a good black and white dynamic to 205 Live or the cruiserweights.
Because I've been enjoying
heels and face, right? So now Austin Aries and Gallagher are positioned as the baby. So we kind of know who to root for and root against for, right?
And especially in this top.
Because Neville and TJP are 2 guys that are typically, you don't ever. I would never see them as heels, but that's how they're working.
I think, and they've both been very successful.
And
at
that's
pulling
one
it
thing.
off.
That's one
TJP
thing
particularly
that 205 Live is lacking is they're all strong personalities. They're there to entertain and perform, but one guy needs to have an agenda over the other guy. We need, we've seen that.
I will agree with that. 205 Live, they have the workers. They need the storytelling. I will agree with that.
Yeah, that's what we need a little bit more. And with this,
giving
positions,
the positions,
yeah, exactly.
I agree. I definitely agree. So does this give you a reason to care? Do you care more about this story going forward?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I still want to see Austin Aries. Okay. I was pro Neville, but Austin Aries, the series of matches that he's put together, slowly.
Austin Aries, is he on the Neville level?
They've done the job. They have done the job.
So it's just about stories. I
don't know yet.
They're telling great stories now with them. What is the story between Neville? I'm sorry, not Neville. TJP and Gallagher. What's their story?
Other than he's trying to be the underling to Neville and be the foil.
I mean, to me, the story
because Gallagher,
TJP's
Gallagher is kind of the boy that can do no wrong right now in the next
team. But what is their story? What is their story?
TJP is here to ruin Gallagher's tea party, bro.
No, TJP's here because he was promised a title shot.
Yeah, Neville sent him as a goon.
But again, again, there's a lot
Jack
of
Gallagher's a lovable good guy. That's a threat to the contenders, a threat to the belt.
So, I mean, but Bruce Swan's a lovable good guy that was a champion.
Again, and he got taken. Unfortunately, they took him out.
Well, we saw he had a good program with Noam Dar.
I think that program was poorly thrown together
we'll kind
too.
of touch on that. We'll kind of touch on that in a little bit later.
But I'm just trying to give you the value because you said cause I can again.
Okay, so moving forward then, because we're gonna have to move on. So, would you prefer Austin Aries or Neville coming out of this feud to be the champion? Neville?
Yeah.
Aries, because he needs to
so
change
Aries,
it up.
He's on the Neville level?
Yeah, he is. Neville has proved his worth. He's held the belt for a good amount of time. But now Aries just came in. He's shown he can work with Neville, work just as good as him, and almost feel like he's better. Have people feel like Aries is better than Neville. So yes, I agree. So I think Neville should win the title. I mean, I'm sorry, Aries. Face that makes mistakes, man.
So we're split. It's a good name. We're split. Austin Aries and Neville. That fits you so perfectly, man. You need to get that tatted.
The face that makes the most mistakes. Folks.
So next backstage, we had a promo, or I guess a promo confrontation kind of thing between Noam Dar, Alicia Fox, and Rich Swann, where Rich is kind of like, "Why are you still with her?" and Noam pretty much promises revenge. So, you kind of touched on this earlier. You're a fan of all the guys involved, right? Well, Noam specifically.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about Noam Dar and Rich Swann and Alicia Fox? I mean, which is arguably the second most important storyline at 205 Live at one point.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad that they're doing something with these guys. Again, I just felt like their storyline was thrown together due to an injury that happened, and they stuck Rich in. I just really would like to see a fluid ending with any of these storylines. I just want to say again. I just want to see what's going to, because again, we've had a couple up until Neville was a champion. Really, I mean, the champion really wasn't the shining spot of the show.
I mean,
or the division.
That's because I kind of disagree because I thought Brian Kendrick was a good champion. TJP
was
not as charismatic.
Brian Kendrick
but they didn't show the shining stars. When Brian Kendrick was the champion,
the experience. He brought a certain feel back to the cruiserweight division that wasn't there before.
Because to me, Brian Kendrick was a good, smarmy heel. He was a good talker, a good worker. He has the desperate, dirty, he exudes that. He'll do anything to win.
Let's not, besides Brian Kendrick...
We'll get to him later,
besides Kendrick and Neville, let's give the cruiserweights some slack here, because they've barely been on TV for not a long time now. Neville is the most seasoned one out of them all when it comes to being on live TV for the WWE product and brand. And so these guys, we've only seen them slowly. This is, on the job training every single episode.
I'm not telling you to put them in tag team matches. I'm saying let them go out there and get some matches. That's not my fault, sir.
They're going to be able to shine by themselves. Sometimes you need a little bit of assistance. You can't do it on your own. Your personality's not quite there yet.
Okay, well, speaking of the Brian Kendrick, we'll go ahead and skip to the main event. The Brian Kendrick faced off against Akira Tozawa, which has been about 3 months in the making. This matchup right here, kind of feel like you would think it'd have a pay-per-view blow off.
In logic, you would,
but maybe it
it's
does.
It's a weekly gag.
They had a hard-hitting back and forth match, lots of back and forth action, and Tozawa ends up winning with a unique roll-up from the sliced bread number 2. But after the match, Brian Kendrick looks like it was enough. It was too much for him. He goes off and he pretty much beats the bejesus out of Akira Tozawa, which I think would eventually set up another match, right? Potentially the blow.
I would hope so. Yeah. They've done too much for these guys.
Well, would you guys be interested in another match, a blow-off match, maybe at a pay-per-view, a proper send-off, if you will?
If it's a proper send-off, yes. If it's not another filler match where y'all go out there and just you got 15 minutes, try your best. I want them to. Again, they're all great workers. None of them guys aren't bad workers. I'm not, because that's being very disrespectful. No, they're great guys. They're great workers.
They're adjusting.
They just need more storytelling.
Please, yes, let them out there. Let them out there and work.
These guys come from the indie scene where they do nothing but high spots 24/7.
A lot of them.
They don't tell a story, so now they're really.
They don't sell either. They don't slow down.
We'll see.
So now they're really learning the ins and outs of that.
I don't think it's just them though. I'm putting on just them. I think
a lot of those guys.
I think there's some backstage things that could be done to help.
Yeah, you think? I agree. There could be more care and time spent.
And I will say this: is it a exception that it seemed like the London crowd was the hottest that I've ever seen for 205 Live?
Yes, because
ever.
That crowd again is
that crowd seemed like they were more.
That's a WrestleMania crowd.
Well,
that's a
I
WrestleMania.
think they're less.
But they were more into that show than Raw.
Well, they're also
Yes.
less biased to the stereotypical WWE style wrestling.
But why is that?
Bigger
though?
is better?
Is that because that they don't get Raw? They don't get wrestling that often over there?
I think
they have
because
different
we've
promotions
seen
over
some
there.
of the English wrestlers that have come out of there, especially now in the future, like Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Jack Gallagher. All these young guys, they're not big. Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. They're not big, tall, muscly dudes that you normally that WWE normally puts over. I think they're more.
So you think that fan is a smarter fan than on average?
I don't know.
I would say
it's a different culture than it is over here.
They know more. They know more. Well, I can't say they have a
more knowledgeable.
Yeah,
more knowledgeable
in the U.S. I mean, the big fish. I mean, the big.
I wouldn't
the big
say
fish
that.
is WWE.
I wouldn't say that.
But it's fair because you guys just said that we have been conditioned from the days of Hulk Hogan that the top guy is the
Yeah,
big,
the
strong,
John
muscly,
Cena,
blonde,
It
tan
depends.
guy.
It depends on
The
what
guy
you-
with the biggest muscles
it
is going to do
depends-
the most damage,
it
right?
depends
That's the
on your
old
school-
adage.
Your school of thought. But
That's
I feel
true.
like the UK, similar.
But a more knowledgeable fan would know maybe a guy that's not as big and strong, but is more technique oriented.
Only
He would be able
because
to
they
all
don't
about
have
the techers,
that
man. The
big
techers.
corporation like running everything. They can see a dude from that part of the
well, so let's go ahead
country.
and transition NXT from that.
Well, and UK is more passionate. I think they're just more I can't say that. I can't say that.
I wouldn't
We have some-
I wouldn't get into that. I wouldn't get into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll get to NXT real quick. Another European export that we have now in the WWE universe is Aleister Black. He started the show off against Cesar Banani. I probably said that name wrong. How do you say that? Banani? Banoni. You're Italian. Banani. I don't know. Ends in an I. Maybe it's in Italian. I don't know. But Cesar's the bigger guy. They kind of had a little, they were teasing some action here and there, but eventually Aleister hits him with the Black Mass. Relatively fast match, straight to the point. My question to you guys is, Aleister Black, after seeing him now a few more times, are you growing warmer to him? Is he legit? Is he a main event guy to you guys? What do you think is the ceiling for Aleister Black? We'll start with you, Stevie Boy.
Yeah, I think he has a good ceiling. I think he's definitely going to be on the main roster sooner than later, or at least.
So is he going to skip his NXT top?
Or at least NXT. I don't know. That's kind of the standard we're seeing them go by now. But now they're getting even more talent. That it's almost like sometimes they don't need to pose you as a champion because you're already good enough to get up there.
You're already strong.
So I think Aleister Black is good. Yeah, I would like to see him as the champion, and I'm warming up to him.
NXT champion.
Yeah, okay. NXT champion.
So on main roster, where do you see him? What's his ceiling?
I don't know yet. I would like to see him perform a little bit more in NXT because I can't quite say like he's WWE World Champion already because I've only seen really just a little bit of him.
That's fair enough. What about you? What do you think over here, Mr. Sinclair?
I wouldn't mind him coming up in he can bypass the NXT title run. I wouldn't mind him bypassing it. I wouldn't mind him seeing it him as well, though. I think he could be a great champion, a very credible champion. But hopefully, when he gets to the main roster, my ideal thing would be for him to be. It would be him and Bray as the Brothers of Destruction type.
Wow.
But not in that. No. Not as in like
Here comes Bray Wyatt somehow back into the picture.
Yes. I know my titles are those people. I know my titles at least those guys. Bray and him, they could be like the Brothers of Destruction, whereas they could be together and dominate, and then they could be apart and feud with each other, like Kane and Taker do. That's what I think they could do because they're both dark entities. They both have their own separate things though as well. So I think that they could draw to it. But that's just me though.
So ceiling though.
Oh, ceiling. My personal ceiling. He's a world champion.
Right now, his ceiling is main roster for me.
So we'll see. We'll see going forward. I think he needs to stick around, and we need to see a little bit more from him before I can. I kind of feel like Steve. Before I can jump out the window all the way, I need to see a little bit more. Maybe see his promo game or whatever. But he's interesting though, and I would be interested to see him in the NXT main event and see where he fits in there.
Yeah,
so after that, we saw a vignette recalling last week's Battle Royal for the women's #1 contendership, the one that Asuka ended up crashing, and it led to the Fatal 4-Way match. But we then find out afterward that Ember Moon is out for 4 to 5 weeks with a sprained shoulder, and the match will now be a triple threat between Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, and Asuka. We even go on later in the show and see a vignette with Ruby Riott telling kind of her backstory and how she's always been different as a kid, and all her tattoos tell a story about her, which leads to a interview that Nikki Cross does, which is very unusual in the fact that she walks the line of being funny but being like violent and vicious very well. I think kind of what they try to do with Dean Ambrose at times. Like
That unstable,
the unhinged, kind of like I'm violent at any time.
She's playing that Harley Quinn gimmick. That's not the look of Harley Quinn, like Alexa Bliss.
It's the personality.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, who do you guys prefer? I mean, did you guys saw both the vignette and the interview? Did you prefer the more personal, affable Ruby Riott vignette, trying to build a more personal connection in the vein of Roderick Strong, or do you prefer the more character work oriented interview that Nikki Cross did? We'll start with you.
I like Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross is the star to me. Like I said that before. She exudes star power.
In this case, Nikki Cross is I prefer her over Ruby Riott. Still want Asuka to retain. I don't think either one of them should beat her. But
and then Ember Moon comes back and beats her.
We'll see.
So you're picking Asuka to win.
I agree. I'm picking Asuka to win, but in this scenario,
it's gonna be the fact that they can't control
if
each
you're
other.
asking
They're gonna be knocking
Ruby
each other
Riott
out.
over
Ruby
Nikki
and,
Cross,
Nikki.
right now I prefer Nikki
That's the bigger
Cross.
feud right now. That's the bigger feud with them.
What is?
Ruby and Nikki.
So you think that
they'll tear each other apart.
So she's going to escape this because of that? Asuka will?
I'm just going to escape it.
I don't know.
She's smart enough to realize. Let them destroy each other.
I kind of think Ember Moon's going to be the one to beat Asuka. Now you got to say that. So yeah.
Well, this match has a potential for a lot of chaos, anarchy, all the typical.
I mean, no DQ by the nature of the match itself. But okay, so yeah, well, we're all interested. I guess it sounds like moving forward into what's gonna happen with this triple threat match at NXT Takeover. Where are they at again?
Chicago.
Chicago. NXT Chicago. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate.
And speaking of that, we saw a short video about Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, kind of explaining who they are, introducing them to the NXT crowd who didn't watch the UK tournament. They've kind of fallen into this I can say habit, but this pattern, I guess, of every now and then a UK match will show up on NXT. Do you guys like that? That's how they've been using them, or is this just a band-aid to hold over until the weekly show?
I'm not sure what it is. I'm not liking how they.
I'm not a fan either, but I like the idea that they're doing the title match.
I think they should.
You don't want to just start doing a UK weekly show just yet, because you don't know who all is going to watch it. So you're kind of gauging the interest, putting the strong guys out there, showing. You're right. It's like all these little things are tests to see if they can finally dip over into the UK market for sure.
So real quick then, so we can't get into an in-depth discussion. We'll save it for another show. As of right now, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, the rematch. It's the rematch of the finals from the UK tournament. Who wins?
Pete Dunne, baby. The boy from Birmingham.
I'm a Bate guy, but I think it's time for Pete Dunne to win. I think he's the guy that they can build the franchise around at first. So the bruiserweight, and I like Tyler Bate. I'm a Tyler Bate fan.
Mustache Mountain too. Trent Seven, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Drew McIntyre backstage talking about the number one contender match later on tonight between Hideo Itami and Roderick Strong. He's interrupted by Wesley Blake, the new father, which sets up a match for next week. Is this more to feed McIntyre, or is this a serious reintroduction of Blake?
Maybe just to get Blake back on the roster, but also to keep McIntyre's.
Keep with the.
I'm sorry, man. He was away from
Alpha Brain. But what about you?
But yeah, McIntyre's going to get the W. Yeah.
More for Drew?
It's to get him...
Feed me more!
Get him back on the roster, but also...
So speaking of feeding, DIY came out to the ring and talked about they deserve a one-on-one tag team title match reshot against the Authors of Pain. They were interrupted by Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. I know your favorite tag team.
Oh my god, the worst tag team.
The overly Italian bros, right?
DIY is the best tag team.
And apparently Sabatelli played in the NFL, so he was already over with the local crowd.
If you guys saw Breaking Ground, they kind of profiled him a little bit on it. So
apparently they made it sound like he made a bunch of money playing football, so he's following the wrestling thing more so because he wants to. So I don't know about that.
He's been in the NXT division for like 2 years, I believe. Maybe been on TV once. He's not a very good wrestler in my opinion. So
I agree. So DIY ended up winning, of course, which leads to GM William Regal coming out and announcing that there will be a rematch for the NXT tag titles, Authors of Pain versus DIY, but it'll be in a ladder match, which I think is a way for DIY to win without the Authors of Pain getting pinned. Mr. Sinclair, what do you think? Your initial reaction? You excited about the ladder match? Only the second one in NXT history, if I'm not mistaken.
Unfortunately,
second or third.
What was
I'm
the
not.
Neville Bo Dallas?
I think Neville Bo Dallas was first, and then Kevin Owens, I think, had one against Finn Balor, perhaps.
I'm not really looking. I'm not.
You're not looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
am. What about you, Stevie Boy?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Because
Ladder matches.
It
I
doesn't
like
matter.
ladder matches.
DIY have proved it time and time again. They're going to go out there, put their bodies on the line,
Yep.
and put on
They get better
an
every time you see 'em.
amazing match.
They get better every time you see 'em.
single time.
So I'm excited to see what the
They
big guys
deserve
can
the
do.
gold more than anybody.
Yep. So I agree. So that leads us to the next segment. Cassius Ohno is talking about getting up after you get knocked down. Seeing Almas interrupts, sets up a match next week. I think that'll be a very hard-hitting, interesting match. And I really don't know who's going to win out of that match. I mean, to me, I'm leaning Cassius Ohno because he needs it, but CN too is always
It
around.
seems like CN's the guy now they're relying on to
the
give the
gatekeeper
rub.
kind of guy,
Yeah,
almost
he's-
like a Tyler Breeze.
It
kind
seems
of
like
thing.
he's giving the rub to all these new guys.
And they know
to
that he
let
can
them
get a
go.
good match out of almost anybody.
Always tranquilo.
So, okay, the main event, Roderick Strong, Hideo Itami, about 20 minutes, about a third of the show. They gave them a good chunk of time. Those guys went out there, and it started slow, but they really got into it, really beat the junk out of each other. Hideo ends up winning after some stiff strikes that led to a GTS, go to sleep. They both men shake hands afterward in a sign of sportsmanship. Hideo Itami's finally getting his NXT title match that he's been deprived due to injury and whatnot the last few years. Roddy, looking like what's next for him is Sanity, because he gets attacked after the match by Sanity after the show. So it's looking like that feud is going to continue because, he interjected himself with the Eric Young, Ty Dillinger. So going forward, real quick, we're going to end the segment like this. As of right now, Bobby Roode, Hideo Itami, main event. Who's winning? Who's leaving with the title?
Bobby Roode.
Hideo.
I also think Hideo Itami, it's time for Bobby Roode to go to the main roster. So that was us talking about NXT and 205 Live. Join this next segment. We're going to talk about the Blue Brand Smackdown Live at Champions Here Show.
At Champions Here Show.
At Champions Here Show.
The strongest brand in the land.
The champ is here!
And we're back to the Champions Here Show, and we're here to talk about the Blue Brand Smackdown Live. So the show starts with Randy Orton coming to the ring, starting to cut a promo, and then of course Jinder Mahal interrupts with the what are they called again?
Singh Brothers.
The Singh
Singh
Brothers. I almost
Brothers.
called them the Bollywood Boys.
I know, that's not. I don't like that name at all. I'd rather
Which
call
one?
it the Bollywood Boys.
I mean, wasn't that like their thing? Like, didn't they?
It was,
that
it
their
was.
gimmick on the- So I don't think it's like demeaning.
No, it's
I hope.
not. But I just don't like the way it sounds. I like the Singh Brothers. It sounds more.
It sounds more legit,
Yeah.
more serious. I do agree with that. Like, it's a more buttoned up, if you will, approach. Which, if you notice, both men came out Jinder in that fly olive suit. And,
Their Easter pastel.
Their Easter best, right?
Down
Their
shirts.
Easter best looked like they're in the Easter program, right? They Easter was going to read a Bible verse that day, right?
That green jacket though, strong choice.
Yeah, no, definitely. I enjoyed the olive. I almost call it navy green every time. But yeah, I enjoyed it though. And what I thought was interesting is right when Jinder was about to speak Punjabi, he was interrupted by Kevin Owens, the new face of America, who in turn cuts a promo, but he actually gets to speak his language. He gets to speak a little French. I wonder why that is, right?
French Canadian.
So he's interrupted by AJ Styles, who AJ Styles starts cutting a promo about how no one wants to hear that. He's then interrupted by Baron Corbin, who Baron Corbin starts to cut a promo. But before I can even really remember him saying anything, Sami Zayn jumps.
Oh my God, that's a lot of moving parts
It
happening
really
right
is,
now.
but it's stereotypical. I talked to K-Pat after or before the
Classic.
show. It's classic SmackDown, right? Because it leads to the six-man holla player, six-man tag main event, right?
Tag team match players.
We're mishmashing all the stories. Talking about crossovers before, we're mishmashing all the stories into one six-man tag goulash for the main event. So get your bowl ready, right? So you guys decided six-man tag, or is it just regular SmackDown?
I don't know. Sometimes the six-man tags turn me off a little bit. Like when they would do back when the Shield was a thing, and they would just throw three other guys together against the Shield. I kind of hated that.
See, I'm not cool with this. Where it's like there's.
It's like different. Yeah, I don't agree with it either.
There's like there's so much going on. It's like, man, it's like, who do I even? It's like, what's even going on?
Oh,
here?
so Sammy's cool with this guy all of a sudden?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, my enemy is my friend.
My friend.
Yeah, it's just a lot where it's like, man, come on.
Enemy and my
guys.
enemy's my friend.
But sometimes I do enjoy a good six-man tag match. But
I mean, yeah, the best thing was
this one in particular. I really was not.
no,
looking
the
forward
best
to.
thing that came out of it was Sami Zayn's pump-up speech. to AJ.
But is that his thing now, man?
Yeah, he's
so
corny.
the neurotic,
He's
corny. He's like the like.
But he's the lovable, corny guy because he never gives up. He's like John Cena, but he's embracing that fact and getting laughs off of it. He's not, playing up to the crowd or pandering.
So is he the new Santino Marella?
No. Santino was over the top, too like campish. Sammy has a little bit of sense of humor, and that's definitely more of his character, and it works more. Instead of him just constantly being, "I'm Sami Zayn, I try hard,"
Okay, well, yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll get back to that to be continued at the main event. So James Ellsworth.
Oh my God, get out of my
is in the ring.
screen.
I know you're one of your favorites, right? James Ellsworth comes out with Carmella and Tamina, and I found it interesting. He said to close your mouth to the crowd because no one wants to see your teeth, duh. Which I thought was interesting coming from him. And he introduces Carmella, who then in turn introduces Natalya, I know one of your favorite divas, who she comes out. Then Naomi makes her entrance to introduce Becky Lynch. So right before Becky versus Natty, the match starts, Charlotte enters. And it's an alright match. They give him a little time, but if I remember correctly, it ends because there's a distraction while Becky's on the ropes, and Charlotte ends up pulling Naomi away, and it causes the distraction, which Natty takes advantage of and pins Becky, and the heels end up getting the last laugh in this instance, while the faces are kind of left confused and kind of almost arguing amongst one another. So after that, after the commercial break, we come back, and the three good guys in this instance, Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi, agree to outbond the welcoming committee, which is Becky Lynch's plan of attack, and she gets Charlotte and Naomi to commit. Do you guys think that, well, first of all, it's obviously going to lead to another 6-man tag team match, player, at Backlash.
6-woman or wrestler tag team match.
You're right, my apologies, it's 2017. 6-person tag team match, 6-wrestler tag team match, 6-entertainer tag team match. You don't want to offend anybody.
So much red tape.
Right? So much legalese right there, right? But so is this gonna be something that is gonna lead to a straight up 3-on-3 thing, or is there a fox in the hen house? Is Charlotte gonna turn, or is Becky gonna turn? Is one of these ladies gonna turn, or is this all on the up and up to you? What do you think?
To be honest, I really don't know, man. I'm kind of...
I might be biased, but I prefer Charlotte as a bad guy,
yeah.
So I keep expecting Charlotte to do something.
If it was anybody, I would expect maybe Becky to do something to kind of sandwich herself in between Charlotte and Naomi and try to do something from there. But I don't know. Who knows? I'm not a big fan of these the six-person tag or the welcoming committee or any of that, really. It's kind of like, all right, where are you guys going to go with this? You have Charlotte and Naomi, and everyone else is kind of like, just watching, right? Tag me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Well, it's kind of like, I'm not sure how it feels thrown together.
With Naomi, when she's been champion, it really hasn't been like a contender for her, really. I mean, like,
well, she hasn't really been able. It's been kind of
a weird circumstance. She got
hurt right before. Then she gave it back. Well, then she hasn't really had a chance.
This is the perfect time, I feel like, for them to put the ball in her hands.
Is it possible she's still hurt, and that's why they're kind of doing these tag team matches to kind of buy her time still?
I'm sorry if she's hurt. Then get the strap off of her.
Maybe they're trying to get people to connect with her more. Because it feels like people like her, but then the live crowd is kind of like lukewarm on her sometimes.
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Talk about, because you told me off the show.
Well, no, what were you saying off the show? It's kind of like
you find an interesting take on this.
It's kind of like, she's a good champion, so just like let your actions speak for yourself. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. She is tough, but I mean,
he was saying something to the effect of like
she's trying to put me on.
She being around the bush.
She gets a little uppity sometimes.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't like her.
She gets a little attitude.
She doesn't need to, though. She doesn't need to.
You should have been here.
Let it speak for itself.
Exactly.
She wasn't a part of Team Bad, to be fair.
I'm saying, but I guess if you want to consider her with the Usos, and now they're like, heels now, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, like, no, I prefer her as like a face. Don't talk trash. I just don't like You know, I prefer the nice Naomi. I don't want her talking trash.
She doesn't want Naomi talking trash. But it's okay if other people do.
Yeah. So what's the difference between Sasha Banks being a good guy but
I never said I like Sasha Banks talking trash either.
Oh, wrong person. You should have named like Becky or somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, but Alexa Bliss.
She's a bad guy. She's a bad guy. So you got to find a good guy.
She's better on the mic than Naomi.
That's true, though.
By far. So I mean, like,
true.
I'm just saying that is my preference. I like nice Naomi. That's it.
Okay.
I prefer nice Naomi. She don't have to talk, bro. She can be nice and still smash everybody.
So do you think somebody saying, "I like you"? But you're not going to win. So does that really sell? Does that sell tickets? Are you ever going to be intrigued for a fight that somebody is like, yeah?
What do you mean? Are you saying that?
Not Naomi being like, yeah, she's a good fighter. She can beat me up.
No, I'm just saying.
She has to say she can't beat me up.
Just don't
talk. Just be silent.
Just let your gold speak.
So yeah, be silent. Be silent there.
Let the gold speak. No, you're putting words in my mouth. I'm saying let the gold speak. You don't have
not you. The gold. With inanimate object can't speak.
Who is the gold?
Question.
Who is the gold on?
Naomi.
Who's not speaking because the gold's speaking for an inanimate object?
She doesn't have to, bro. The gold is a status symbol of you being the best and on top. You carrying it for the company.
Okay. I want to know why she can't talk. I want to know why she can't talk.
I'm saying I like nice Naomi. That's all.
Feel the glow. Okay. So that was a good segment. That was a spirited discussion. We'll have to revisit this again when we have more of our compatriots. We'll kind of get some different points.
I'll be nice, y'all won't talk. I'll be nice, y'all won't talk.
We'll compare and contrast Arthur. We'll compare and contrast. So after this, there was another special vignette segment, Fashion Files Part 2, Special London Unit. You're a fan of them. I'll go ahead and let you take over from here. What happened in the second episode of the Fashion Files?
Dango, we gotta keep following the tracks. Looks like they took the paint off months ago. Oh, I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. It was funny up until the part when the Ascension were doing their little weird zombies thing in the closet. Like, you could do without that. Just no Ascension. Just show me more Fandango or Tyler Breeze, you know.
Okay. It was the face paint, by the way. He didn't really touch on it.
Yeah,
they found some face paint.
They found the face paint on the ground, and they thought they were a bunch of sleuths over there, and you know.
The Uggos.
Oh, but Dango. They took their paint off months ago, didn't they?
That's what they want us to do.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter which one of us they pin, or which one of them we pin, or whatever they said. But yeah, okay.
Chet Cheddarfield.
So, how do you feeling about the Fashion Files over here, Mr. Sinclair? You're over here making faces.
I'm enjoying the discussion.
I still got to give Tyler Breeze a fashion faux pas, aka a ticket for having those terrible tights for as long as he has. So sorry, Tyler. No tights though. No frilly tights. Nope.
He just wants you wearing nothing. Just like how Naomi talks. No talking for Naomi. No tights for Tyler.
No. Just don't.
Nothing. Show up in nothing, Tyler Breeze. But okay, so after that, we have former Wyatt family brothers, I guess you can call them.
Yeah.
Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. And every time I see Luke Harper, I'm impressed because he looks like he's getting in better shape every time.
Right? It's impressive.
Like, he's actually getting swole up now.
I'm the opposite, man, because it seems like they're doing the same thing with him every week, man.
It is, but it's nice to look at. Like, you see Harper...
I mean, it's just shocking every time I see him. It's a real stark, like, he's like...
See, I would be excited if they put him in an actual... Like, I'm not sure what he's been doing.
Well, man. I thought he was going to win this match, but I was wrong. Eric Rowan, after a thumb to the eye, beats him with a reverse, like, spinning power slam thing, which I've never seen him do before. And, he wins, and the only thing more terrible than his entrance music is probably that mask he wears now. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of
I don't like it at all. I don't like either one.
So what's the future? You're the Wyatt Whisperer. What's the future for Eric Rowan? Where is this leading to?
I don't see a future for either one of them, to be honest. I don't know.
Either?
I don't know.
Luke Harper to me is potential world champion.
I could see Harper doing something. They position him away from everybody though. It's
I'm so serious too.
They isolated him a little bit.
No. And one thing that he's done the past 2 years that
he's been the most consistent member of the
I don't know if
family.
it's been 2 years ago, but he had a decent run. Well, not decent, but he had an okay run as the IC champion. Him and Dolph Ziggler,
most
the ladder match.
consistent member of the Wyatt family.
He's 6'7" and he can do a suicide dive. He can do a super kick. I mean, he's getting in better shape now. Like he has a believable character, the scary like redneck trucker, like
He has no character development, man. Y'all talking about all this character, but he has no character. He's done nothing.
I'm a team player.
That hasn't been brought up even in
I know, but he has the potential. To me, he has the potential. He ticks all the right boxes. It's a matter of if they choose to use him the right way. I agree with you in that regard. It's up to them. To me, he has all the physical tools. He has all the mental tools. He has the character. He has the look.
Yeah, he didn't talk for so long though, so it's kind of like, you know, don't start giving him the mic just yet. I don't.
He didn't talk for so long.
He didn't. He was in the Wyatt family. All he had to do was stare. He was the muscle. Bray was the mouthpiece.
Oh, he does like the creepy, like, oh, I can't even do it. You know what I'm talking about?
The first time you hear him speak, I think he says like, "What? We're here" or something. But I like Harper.
I'm a team player. But yeah. So going forward, we'll see what happens with the former Wyatt family. Because yeah, I think it's kind of weird that they put it back together just to rip them apart again. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But moving forward, one of your favorites, the Zigzag Man, Dolph Ziggler. He's here to show the world. He comes out to the ring. He cuts another promo about the artist Shinsuke Nakamura. Which, first of all, how do y'all feel about the artist nickname?
I don't know.
Terrible.
They're positioning him as.
I think it's kind of too much in the vein of Prince.
Yeah. Terrible.
Well, I mean, it's like your outfit is clearly Michael Jackson inspired. Michael Jackson inspired. A little bit.
With the pants and
everything. Now they're calling you the artist. It's like, all right.
But okay, but the crowd chants NXT when Dolph says he hasn't really had a match that mattered or he hasn't really worked in WWE yet. The crowd acknowledges. Probably the hottest that I've seen this London crowd, both shows, all three shows, was for Shinsuke Nakamura. They're chanting Nakamura. They're chanting NXT. I wish they had started a King of Strong style chant, because I wish that's the nickname they really.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish that's what they were pushing
run
him
with
as. They have, man. I mean, they Strong style has arrived. They did the shirt. I have it. I've never worn it, but I have it. You guys give me all that crap about having all the Nakamura shirts, but yeah. So Ziggler calls out Nakamura. Nakamura comes out. Again, the crowd's chanting along, singing along, humming along, however you want to phrase it, with the entrance music. Nakamura gets one of the biggest pops of the whole week. They almost have a match. They tease it. They even bring a ref down. Nakamura takes the jacket off. Ziggler takes his sport coat off. And right when you think they're about to maybe possibly do this, Ziggler backs off and says, "No, we'll do it when I'm ready." And at that point, he throws his jacket at Nakamura and tries to attack him. And Nakamura ends up fending Ziggler off, gets the better of him. Ziggler bails out, which I'm pretty sure sets Backlash for Shinsuke versus Dolph Ziggler. Does this build your anticipation, make you more excited for this match at Backlash, or are you just ready to see it now?
I'm ready to see it. I've been ready to see it.
I like the build though. I mean, I think it's building Nakamura and marinating, and it's allowing Ziggler to. It's allowing Ziggler. If anybody on SmackDown can introduce Shinsuke Nakamura to the SmackDown Live roster, it is Dolph Ziggler, because he can make anybody look good, as you can see. He's the show off. But no. Dolph can go like 15, 20, 30 minutes if he needs to, and so can Shinsuke, and they can tell that story.
Are they gonna give Shinsuke and them enough time to steal the show?
15 plus, I think. And
I think 15 minutes. Thank you for stealing my answer from the other night. I appreciate that, bro.
Regardless, it's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna look beautiful when Shinsuke hits the knee on Ziggler, because Ziggler's gonna sell it. Like crazy.
I think we may get 20. They may sneak into 20. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think it's going to be one of those shows where it's underbooked in the sense that there's only going to be like 6 matches, 5 matches. So I think they're going to let those guys go out there and tear it up.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to introduce Nakamura to the main? It's like what they did. In my mind, it's like what they did with Sami Zayn and Nakamura. Mm-hmm. They just let them go out there and tear it down in the middle of the show. Make sure you have enough room.
22 minutes maybe.
And you let them go early in the show. You know you have enough room on the show to accommodate it. No problem. So yeah, I'm excited, but I feel like these guys, I'm just ready to see the King of Strong style do his thing, take his throne. So, I'm looking forward to Backlash for sure. So yeah, after this we see the vignette, the little promo that Stevie Boy mentioned earlier about Sami Zayn talking fast, and AJ and Randy kind of bail on him. Then we see a new vignette that I haven't seen at least yet, which was the New Day Booty video game vignette, hyping the return of the New Day. I know we're all excited to see the New Day. Kofi get well soon. I saw a video he made. He got his walking boot taken off recently.
Keep it tight, Kofi. Keep it tight.
And he has a pair of the all-white Yeezys I was unable to secure because we were in New Orleans. I was trying to buy those off my phone while we were driving to New Orleans. It didn't work out. So, Yeah, so shouts out Kofi, you got them all white Yeezys. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see the New Day soon. He's out of his walking boot now. Speaking of the tag team division, the next match was the aforementioned Breezango versus the Ascension. It was a relatively short match. The Foggy Apple was over for Fandango, though. They did the little Fandango thing.
Oh yeah, they popped hard for them.
And Breezango wins the short match, but it's not what happens during the match that stood out for the tag team division. It was after the match. The new Usos show up, and they say, nah, cuz we're not going to rush the ring yet. You got 12 days. And went on and cut probably the best promo of their career. The 12 days promo.
Definitely, it was good.
I liked it. It fit their personality, this new persona. And honestly, you know, at the end, it kind of reminded me of you when he started talking about a head on a swivel and, will you feel that creeping behind you? That's not paranoia. That's the Usos. Maybe reminded me kind of you a little bit. So how'd you feel about the Usos and the 12 days?
I'm finally glad they're embracing it, man. I'm
12 days!
I'm glad they're embracing the whole just being edgier.
Yeah.
Man, they did the whole babyface thing and it was all good. You know, they did
and you see glimpses of this personality.
Yeah, but you saw how they could get the edge. They can get gritty, they can get nasty, and it never was unleashed until this promo. And this promo, I think, encapsulated everything they've been feeling, everything they've been going through with this. Hopefully, this will take them to a new level. Because I like this Usos. I love the hoodies. How this is.
It feels authentic.
It's guerrilla warfare to me. Honestly,
it feels like this is them.
This is them.
Yeah, I liked it. It's definitely like the most like fleshed out we've seen the characters like at all since they've changed their gimmicks. I like their new gimmick. The face paint thing and it worked for a little while, but it did. It got tired. And it's good to see them as more tough guys because, like you said, man, they're legitimately one of the best tag teams.
They're like 6'3". They're not small guys.
Well, they're also one of the best tag teams and longest running tag teams in the company. Work better than anybody
in the world. I would say.
So they definitely have garnered that hype, and they deserve it.
I hate to interrupt, but we got to move on. The main event of the night, speaking of which, real quick, Hanson Rusev is coming back next week, but we'll get to that later. The main event, 6-man tag, Corbin, Kevin Owens, and Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. Lots of back and forth action. It was about a 20-minute match. Lots of high spots, lots of big moments. They're exchanging, the momentum shifts back and forth. Randy hits a RKO on Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is not the legal manager. The Mahal is. He sneaks it behind Randy and hits him with the finish. He doesn't have a name for it yet, but it's like that Cobra Clutch Slam.
Yeah,
and he pins Randy Orton 1, 2, 3 clean in the middle of the ring. No Bollywood boys interfering, which I thought was how the match was going to end. So before we end the segment, because we got to go real quick. So 2 questions, right? Does this legitimize Jinder Mahal to you? Does this give him a more realistic chance of winning after a match at Backlash?
It did the opposite.
It did the opposite. Yeah. So you think this is foreshadowing that Randy's going to win?
Right.
What about you?
No, I think Jinder's going to win the title.
I think Jinder's going to win too. This is them laying the groundwork to legitimize
like
Jinder Mahal.
Like we said earlier in the show.
He pinned him 1, 2, 3 with the move. So, okay, real quick. Champ of the night. Who's your champ of the night for SmackDown Live? Mr. Sinclair.
Has to be the Usos.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Usos too.
Clean sweep. The Usos, 12 days, and I can't wait. So, yeah, Usos, Breezango. Sorry to be a Breezango, but it looks like you're the next ones that are getting fed to the Usos, and that's not just paranoia, right? Keep your heads on a swivel. Join us next. We're going to wrap up the show, touch on everything we may have missed, and talk about our match of the night tonight. So keep your heads on a swivel at Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
At Champ is Here Show.
The strongest brand in the land.
Yeah!
The champ is here!
And we're back to the Champ is Here Show podcast for the final segment. Segment 4. We're going to wrap everything up in a nice bow, right? We're going to add the butter to the sauce and whisk it up before we put it on the plate and serve it to y'all. So, before we get into the match of the night from last week, let us go ahead and talk about what we may have missed. One of the things that we missed, I know for sure, is Lana. A Lana promo aired where they promised the return of Lana. Her new dancing gimmick that they've been showing off the last few weeks. You don't look very impressed, Stevie Boy.
No, I'm not at all. And no offense to Lana and her talents and, you know, that character or anything, but I feel like they ruined her like a year and a half ago when they changed up her gimmick from the pencil skirt, outfit to with tight bun to, I don't know, the Dolph Ziggler Americanized version. I know they had to flesh her out, but still, I don't really.
I'm not laughing at you, I swear, I promise.
I'm not a fan. Not really a fan of it so far. I mean, I liked her with Rusev. I'm excited for Rusev to come back, but not really Lana.
What about you? Before we get to Handsome Rusev, what about you?
You know what? After a couple weeks ago, I talked about it, and I felt bad. I didn't feel bad. I didn't give her enough. You know what? I did endure them with Eva Marie. So you know what? I'm excited to see Lana in this dancing gimmick because I'm pretty sure she's gonna try her hardest to get this over. So you know what? I'm gonna come up with mine, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna wait for it.
But I've been practicing my Russian, and I've heard Lana is Russian for can't wrestle. So
that is true. That's what I've heard.
So we'll see. But speaking of Lana, Rusev, her husband, aka Handsome Rusev, as he's been known since the haircut, since he got his ears lowered, is supposed to be debuting next week. So, what do you think the trajectory? What is the direction for Rusev? We'll start on this side of the room. All the way up. Is that what you think?
Yes, I hope.
Well, a few weeks ago he said he's not coming back till he gets a title match. He didn't specify what he meant. Now you could imply he was talking about WWE Championship, but that looks like that's kind of title right now with Jinder Mahal and whatnot. Do you think Rusev and Jinder Mahal is that in the future for the WWE Championship?
I see he comes back. He comes back this week.
The match?
And well, he simply
because he doesn't like Jinder.
He states. He tells Shane, I'm not coming back until I get an opportunity. I'm not coming back. So fast forward till after pay-per-view, because everything has to simmer and settle down with everything with the Superstar shakeup. Everything has to settle and shimmer and settle down. He gets the opportunity of being in the Money in the Bank. I think that's that's his quote unquote championship opportunity because that is almost a guarantee. I
think Rusev wins Money in the Bank.
If he's in it. He
I would like to see Baron Corbin have a briefcase, just to see him cashing in. But Rusev probably is the most legitimate threat to have.
Baron Corbin's a good
with the briefcase, though, I think Rusev is the most legitimate threat.
Really, over Baron Corbin? Because I was just about to ask then. Any guy that has not won the world title, who's the most legit guy to win Money in the Bank? Excuse me.
I mean, what about Sami Zayn?
I would say Rusev. It has to be Rusev. Only due to the fact that Baron Corbin has not had a sustained run.
Yeah, it's a little
on the main roster. But in 2 years, if you ask me that question, it could probably very well be the opposite. And it could be Baron
kind
Corbin.
of the trajectory for Baron Corbin though, because he's won one trophy, won something else. Now he's just really going to continue. They're going to continue to put him up on that
his time.
The
I'm
upward
not sure
trend. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So if you had to book it tomorrow, who's winning Money in the Bank then? Rusev.
Who I think I'm gonna pick Baron Corbin.
Rusev wins it.
Baron Corbin. I think I'm gonna pick Baron Corbin.
Tuesday.
I'm the lone wolf.
He catches it in that night, and he breaks whoever's back it is. I don't care who it is.
Make him humble.
I would like to see. Because I was so happy.
Lana comes back out.
Won Money in the Bank and cashed in. Oh, it was amazing.
It fit his personality.
It was amazing.
Cashing in the same night, right?
Yeah.
That fit his personality for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of torn like you guys are, man. I mean, I think it depends on what mood you catch me in. But I like. You put me on the spot now, I think Rusev. Rusev might be the way to go. I wish they'd realign him with Lana again. I think that was just such a perfect gimmick when they first started and he wasn't talking and Lana did with the accent and the oh man, it was perfect. With the hair up and the bun and oh man. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious because I can also definitely ride with Baron Corbin because I also think he's a credible threat. He gets better every time and that's really all I can ask for, right? So, another thing we missed talking about SmackDown Live was... I thought it was kind of creepy, kind of weird, but Mojo Rawley talking to the kids, telling stories about Andre the Giant and how he used to be bullied and this and that, and showing the kids the trophy and everything. I mean, what do you think this leads for Mojo Rawley? Is this something that leads to a serious push for Mojo Rawley?
I actually think eventually, I'm not sure how long this takes or how long this goes on, but I actually believe Zack Ryder will come back. And he will turn on Mojo. He will turn on Mojo saying, you forgot about me, you never cared about me, blah, 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 blah. I'm not sure when this will happen because I'm not sure the foreseeable future with Mojo because I really, thought he'd have a more prominent role with Smackdown after he won the Dre.
Well, to be fair, he won the Dre, and then he beat the man that is the #1 contender for the world title right now, the WWE Championship right now. So he just hasn't been on TV since then. I mean, since losing that match.
That's what I'm saying. I thought his momentum would keep going, and it hasn't.
It's a 2-hour show. They've had a lot going on. I mean, where else? Because that's my thing. Where do you fit him? Because he can't. It's true, but you can't put him in the U.S. title picture because it's tied up right now with AJ Styles and with Kevin Owens, and you just have Chris Jericho involved in that.
Let him build the value. Yeah, let him build the value of the Andre the Giant.
So yeah, so the only thing you can do is have him beating. To me, the thing is, you can only have him beating other guys that aren't doing something important right now. All the upper echelon guys on SmackDown are tied up in either the upper mid card or the main event. So you really just essentially have him out there squashing job guys. I mean,
that's not bad. Bring him out there and have him pose.
So you'd rather have that? I'd rather have that than have this creepy segment.
Have him pose like they did with Big Show, like they did with Baron Corbin. Have him pose with the giant statue. Have him have him work on his character. Have him develop his character with guys that he's not. You're not in a risk of losing, man. Like their job is to help you get over it.
I think though, outside of wrestling though, they see the value in Mojo as being a good role model for similar to like the vein that Titus took. Not saying Titus isn't a great wrestler because Mojo is not a very good wrestler in my opinion in the ring, but he has that larger than life personality. He's great with the kids and he's a positive role model. And so he doesn't have to necessarily be good in the ring, but he's got value to WWE for putting out a positive image and having that large personality to put him out there, and kids especially, will enjoy that. Us as adults think it's a little hokey and a little over the top sometimes. The weird Uncle Mojo talking to the kids, right? But I think I think Mojo he's kind of good where he's at right now. Let him continue to build his brand by being propped up with this Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy, but also just be Mojo, and that's going to improve his in-ring value by showing him outside of the ring.
So what is Mojo ceiling to you? What is Mojo Rawley's potential?
I could see them giving him at least a small title run or something like that. I don't know. As
the top guy?
No. Never
U.S. champion.
Never top guy. Mid card.
Okay.
Mid card. I could see him being a good mid card hold. He could hold the belt for.
So almost like a Hacksaw Jim Duggan kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like
in WCW. Similar to that.
What about you? What do you think, Mr. Sinclair?
Oh, I think he'll most likely be pushed to the main event.
See, eventually. I disagree because, as Bruce Pritchard likes to say sometimes, the bell has to ring eventually, and eventually you're going to have to actually go in there and work a match. And to work as the top guy, you got to be able to work 20, 30-minute matches, and to me, Mojo Rawley doesn't have that. I mean, I think it's kind of apt the comparison that you brought up, Titus O'Neil. I feel like Titus O'Neil is more charismatic. I actually prefer Titus O'Neil to Mojo
Rawley. I agree. Well, I always wanted Titus to get a small IC run.
Mojo Rawley, by far. Yeah, by far. Better than Titus.
I wouldn't say better per se, but he moves better. He's a more athletic.
Mojo is stiffer and more violent.
He's younger. He has a bigger upside. Again, if he can really take to this wrestling, like he's gotten better since NXT. Like
that's true. I agree.
Again, it might not be.
I prefer maybe it's just I prefer tag team Mojo. Maybe the Hype Bros was the way to go. See, I did think it was interesting that you brought up the idea that Zack Ryder could possibly come back and turn heel on him.
Because who thought about Zack Ryder? Who's even thought about him?
Exactly. And we haven't seen a heel Zack Ryder, and this whole time he's had this run.
This could push Mojo up.
And what really makes me think is because the why. Because I think it's a raw nerve. It's a raw nerve for Zack Ryder, and I think
because I went there,
and I think the guy behind Zack Ryder can really tap into that emotion and amplify it, and I think that's what'll drive it. And then really,
it gives him something to do. It's great.
It'll also give us.
Does
a different
Zack Ryder
facet.
have the chops to be a heel? I don't think so.
It's interesting. I would have said the same thing about Neville before the turn, and I mean, look how well Neville's taken to. Even TJP, look at how well. In the month that TJP has been a heel, we've seen more personality in him in that month than the whole 6 months. Or even the run he had with the Cruiserweight Championship.
He did work with Edge, man, for a little while with his
what I'm thinking is not only do you get to see a different side of Zack Ryder, a bad guy's side, a darker side.
More serious side of Mojo.
You get to see, not only more serious, you get to see Mojo in peril, a bigger, stronger guy.
Yeah, how does he face adversity types of deal. Yeah.
And even emotionally, too.
Friend, man.
Exactly.
That's my best friend.
How does he pick up, and I think that's an interesting, and it gives him depth. He's not just a big hype guy all the time that parties.
I just thought of this.
This is the segment to bring it up.
I just thought of this. I was on Instagram and I saw that Emma got hurt, man.
Yeah, she got hurt.
I'm not sure like how serious or how legitimate this is.
I heard it was in the corner at the it was one of the house shows. I
don't know.
I heard it was like immediately after
they gave her. Yeah, they gave her the rest of the tour off. She already flew back, man.
So it's a real. This is real.
This is serious.
Which is unfortunate, right? Because we just saw her.
We just
saw her.
And that's why I don't.
She's almost like a Dale Tommy in that sense. Like you can never catch a break.
You can never catch a break with her. She cannot catch a break.
Always getting hurt at the wrong time.
I thought
almost. Right?
I was hoping that it was like one of those things where it was like they're working with her, like because again, and she's from Australia, but I'm pretty sure she has a bigger international appeal, probably. Cause I'm sure she did it.
She has a unique moveset too.
She's good. One of my favorite women wrestlers.
I agree.
Man, I can't.
They did that weird. I don't know what blue pants, pre-blue pants.
That's you though. You totally look like you invented that.
I did.
That sucks. I hope get well then.
Get well to Emma. I mean, hopefully it's not that's too serious.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of I should have brought that up during the news section. That does suck though. Well, all right. Well, anything else that we missed you guys want to bring up before we move on to the next section?
I don't know how many. I don't know if you guys heard about this on Twitter, but there is a musician by the name of Jared Followell. I'm not even going to say your name properly, dude, because you're out here slandering the good name of wrestling fans, all right? He tweeted, and I will quote his tweet, "Hey adults, let's maybe not watch professional wrestling, you know? No, let's not do that, pal. Alright, first of all, you are the least talented brother in the entire band. Your band peaked in 2008, bro. And we know you have nothing to do but watch old Memphis wrestling on your tour bus, and you're watching Andy Kaufman just taking all his tips. So get out my face, get off of Twitter. You don't need the hype. Your band has no hype, so stay away."
At Champ is your show.
Because we're the strongest brand in the land. We're the best in this podcast world, on this microphone.
All hate tweets at Champ is your show.
At me, bro.
You have anything else you want to add to that, Mr. Sinclair?
Do you agree with that?
Yes. If you would like to have an open discussion on this, you could shoot us a message, man.
You're welcome to come on the show.
We can make this happen.
Look, bro, you want to stay on the Skype circle?
I don't want no bad feelings towards me and you. I want you on this couch right here next to me, my man. So if you ever want to come holler at us from all of us at Chomp, man, just holler at me on there. Off the Sinclair, we'll get back at you in a very professional, non-hateful way. Like this man.
I'll be very confrontational. I will not hide that.
I will be the bigger man, and I want you on this couch with us, my man. I want you to tell your side of the story.
Yeah, so Jared Followell, you're welcome.
Please reply.
Standing invitation
at Champions here show. At Chomp, at Kevin Cartier,
at Stevie Boy Smith _.
And just please, if you have any discussion, come, and we will happily discuss with you.
I'm sure Ric Flair, Jim Cornette, every single wrestler on Twitter has already told you, so you already know.
Oh wow, we're gonna end it right there because my man Stevie Boy Smith is getting hot.
I'm just saying.
I can see the steam coming out of his ears, right? You might have to undo a button or two on the collar. But so last week we were joined by Chris Dunnels and his brother AJ, and we gave Chris
Dunnels Incorporated.
Right, Dennis Inc. Even Joseph was here too, or
so the whole squad,
the whole tandem, right? Yeah. There are the trio, the triumvirate was here. So we gave Chris the opportunity to pick the match of the night, and of course he picked the longest match he could find. I think that's what he Googled. But no, it was a good one. It was Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle, Smackdown 2013, September. 60-minute Iron Man match, and I actually rewatched that match today in preparation for the show. It ends 5-4 in favor of Brock Lesnar beating Kurt Angle for the championship, and it ends with Kurt securing one last ankle lock, but Brock never taps. It's probably the greatest Iron Man match of all time. Arguably, I mean, you could argue Shawn and Brett. I know for
I didn't say there's only like one real standard, which would be Brett and Shawn in my. Well, I mean, if you want to talk Ricky Steamboat Flair also.
Well, I was going to say because in WCW they have 30-minute Iron Man matches. I know Rick Rude and Steamboat had one. I'm pretty sure Austin might have had one while he was there stunning Steve. There's also Triple H and Benoit. Did they have an Iron Man match? I want to say.
I'm not sure.
Triple H had one, or was it with Jericho? Triple H
I
had
want to
one
say,
for sure.
I can't, yeah, no.
It wasn't Rock and
no.
Triple H.
It's bothering me right now. Don't even.
That might have been
strike
Rock and
that,
Triple H
yeah.
and Judgment Day. Now that I'm thinking of it.
2000, no.
Yeah, 2000 something. I think it might have been Judgment Day. Now that I'm thinking of it, Undertaker I think was on the poster for that event of American Badass.
Yeah, I think that might have been 02 Judgment Day.
You want to bet? I think it's 01.
Okay, well we're not gonna.
Off
bet.
the show, come on.
No.
Mega Powers handshake. You're doing it all wrong. Wow. Get on your Google machine right now. Google Mega Powers handshake, and I'll come back to you. So, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Iron Man match. What do you think?
As a very solid, a very great match. I can't. You said arguably the greatest Iron Man match. I'll be the.
And they gave it away on
contrary.
TV.
Yeah, that's why I think that what made it so great that they gave them two guys 16. I mean, but that never happened. I mean, like literally, that's a WrestleMania. That's a WrestleMania match. If you really want to be honest, that's legit.
I mean, if it's anywhere in the world.
Anywhere. That's a New Japan. Anything like anywhere. Promotion you want to put that. Anything. So to see that on free TV was mind-blowing.
Yeah,
and to be an actual 60-minute Iron Man match between them two wrestlers. Like, again, great match.
So out of 10, what do you give it?
I'll probably give it maybe
5 average.
8.5. 9. I'll give it 9. 9.
I give it an 8. It's. I have a question though. Is it the best Brock Lesnar match and the best Kurt Angle match, or have they wrestled other people and had better?
Honestly,
matches?
I'm biased. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite, but that's another discussion.
That's off the top of the head.
This was a great match.
Yeah.
60 minutes.
Even the WrestleMania match was pretty epic.
Both guys.
Where Brock botches the shooting star press.
And Brock is a proven warrior, but we've never really seen him go that distance, right?
Well, I've even heard that
really
was supposed to be the finish, and they called the rest of the match in the ring after that. But so what would you give it? You said
I said an 8. I said a solid. I would give it a solid 8. Great performances on both ends by both guys.
It's a 9 if you ask me.
Ooh, see, I want to say that, but I'm gonna go 8.5. We're gonna change it up. 8.5. Because they did everything.
In America, we round that up to a 9.
They did everything. No, they did everything right. There wasn't anything wrong about it, but it wasn't. They didn't bring out the best in each other. Not quite.
Really?
Not quite.
Okay.
I would love for y'all. I would love for them to be here right now. Say that with them there.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Look at Kurt.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Next time we go to WrestleCon,
I'll say it with integrity, Kurt.
Right.
Not intelligence though.
Yeah, no intelligence.
Not intelligence though, buddy.
Well, okay. Well, we'll do this then because we didn't prepare. I wasn't ready for this. I'll think of a number between 1 through 10. Each y'all pick a number. Whoever closest gets to pick the match of the night. Is that fair enough?
Correct.
Okay. I got my number. Go ahead.
9.
I'll go the opposite scale. I'll have to go 4.
My number was 3. So my man Sinclair right here gets to pick the match of the night.
Nice. The match of the night has to be.
Don't get scared now.
No, it turned me into a wrestling fan. It actually made me want to be a wrestler. It is In Your House, 1997, if I'm not mistaken. It's 97 or 97, yeah.
Mind Games?
No.
Oh.
Bad Blood.
Oh, this match right here. My goodness.
My man already knows
Explain
about it.
Explain to the viewers.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like the 18th In Your House pay-per-view, matter of fact. This is like the last pay-per-view.
A very good
before
series of pay-per-views.
McMahon, this might have been his last pay-per-view before Survivor Series, 97, which is the Montreal Screw Job. Probably his last pay-per-view that he probably enjoyed, actually. I think that they had like an all-star wrestling cast before like the actual event. Like it was a really weird. It happened in St. Louis in the Kill Center. I remember a lot about this pay-per-view. But anyway, the match itself.
Talk about everything but the match.
The match itself was the first.
What kind of popcorn were you eating when you were watching it? You talking about everything but the match.
It was a cell match between Shawn Michaels,
the greatest,
and Taker, Undertaker, and. It was not. Well,
that's gotta be Kane.
Even though Shawn had the European Championship, it was not for the championship at all. That was not for grabs. No titles at all.
All pride.
Matter of fact, the titles, that was the main event. The World Heavyweight Champion at the time was Bret Hart, who was in a tag team match. I want to say like pre. So this match made me want to be a wrestler. It still makes me want to be a wrestler. I get goosebumps to this day when this match comes on.
If I'm not mistaken, the infamous spot where Michaels falls off the cage onto the announce table, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Not my favorite part though. To be fair, it's not my favorite part. My favorite part is prior to the match actually taking place. It's Shawn in the ring by himself with his cronies, his comrades, his DJ Shanks, and to see not only him but them, the way they sold the situation, the way they sold what was about to unfold and what they didn't know was going to happen. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Please go watch it. In Your House, Bad Blood '97. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, first ever Hell in a Cell match. You will not be disappointed at all.
And I will admit, this is one of the few matches that I can remember a new concept being introduced and the concept actually exceeding expectations.
It blew it out the water.
And
honestly, everything about this match.
And this cell is smaller than the current cell they use now, but it's still, when I first saw it as a kid,
everything about this match is what made WWE at that point. What made it was everything. It was everything. Everything about this match is, I think, probably some of the greatest.
Some consider it the best Hell in a Cell ever.
Oh no, I think by far it's the greatest Hell in a Cell. Period. I think there's no comparison. Even taking Taker, Mankind out put them in the equation. I think
that's the best one. But okay, anything else you want to add, Stevie Boy, before we go?
No. Just watch the rest of that pay-per-view if you can. You know, that's a good pay-per-view. So I would just go watch the whole thing if I were you. $9.99.
Right, WWE Network. Check it out. Well, thank you guys for watching our show at the Champions Here Show podcast. I am, of course, Kevin Cartier, alongside my compatriots.
Austin Kalel.
Stevie Boy Smith, the face that makes mistakes.
That's such a good name. Like, follow, subscribe. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Snapchat now. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. And we're probably about to get on Facebook soon. So
iTunes and Stitcher coming this week.
Coming real soon. And yeah, check out the website too. Champions Show. All that coming real soon. But thanks for watching. Join us next week. At Champions Here Show, right?
At Champions Here Show.
At Champions Here Show. The strongest brand in the land.
I already turned it off.
It's all good. Don't matter. I still got to say it for sake of continuity, bro.
Right. Posterity.
Heard the